Chapter 452. Hearing Wang Mang's arrogant threat, the burly man, who was about to swallow his anger, glared at Meng Qi with a ferocious and angry look on his face. Don't push me too far. If you push me too far, I'll quit my business and keep an eye on you. Obviously, the dog butcher didn't expect Wang Mang to be so arrogant. He even asked him for protection money, and he even asked him to give him a heaven celestial stage demonic beast. He was King inhumane. Was this something a human could do? Therefore, the dog butcher was very angry. Wang Mang sneered and said, I don't plan to go out. I'll live in the village from now on. Let me tell you, if you don't give me a heaven celestial stage demonic beast, it won't be as simple as peeing on you. Next time I come, I'll pour feces on you. Let's see how you do business. Quit your business if you dare. After saying that, Wang Mang arrogantly dragged Xiao Tianquan away, leaving the angry and sullen dog butcher behind. At the same time, Wang Mang also found that the stall owners around them were looking at them strangely. However, the mocking laughter was gone. The owners of the nearby stalls no longer dared to ridicule Wang Mang and the others. Obviously, they were afraid that Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan would piss on their stall too. If that happened, they wouldn't be able to do business anymore. That wasn't the scariest thing. The scariest thing was that they were afraid that Wang Mang would stare at their shop every day and pour feces on them. Thus, Wang Mang and the howling celestial dog were treated completely differently. Previously, wherever they went, people would scold them. They were like rats crossing the street. But now, no one was scolding them. But it wasn't over yet. Wang Mang had made up his mind. He would piss on Xiao Tianquan all the way. He would try his best to take care of every shop so that he could arouse public anger. When the time came, he would rip off these guys a few times and try to make everyone afraid of him. Moreover, when everyone thought that he wouldn't leave, he would find a chance to slip away. At this thought, Wang Mang whispered to Xiao Tianquan, Go, piss on every shop and piss on them all the way. After hearing Wang Mang's words, Xiao Tianquan was stunned and said hesitantly, Master, I don't think that's a good idea. These people are at the peak of the Earth celestial stage. If we do that, we'll offend all of them. Wang Mang immediately chuckled. What do they dare to do? Let's piss on them all the way. Let them know the consequences. Hearing this, Xiao Tianquan's eyes brightened. Only now did it remember that these people didn't dare to attack. At the thought of this, Xiao Tianquan became bolder and immediately puffed out its chest and raised its head. Then, Xiao Tianquan walked to a shop nearby and started to unbuckle his belt. The shop owner's face turned green, and he said in a panic, Guys, we didn't offend you. You don't have to do this to us, do you? I still have a business to run. Hearing this, Xiao Tianquan ignored him and arrogantly took out its second brother. Bite me if you can. You should be proud that I piss on you. CKU. Didn't you have a lot of fun scolding me just now? After that, Xiao Tianquan straightened his back and started to piss. The golden liquid sprayed out like a water pipe and covered the demonic beasts in the stall and the shop owner. Then, Xiao Tianquan started to piss on the shops on the right like a sprinkler truck. Seeing this, Wang Mang hesitated for a while, then gritted his teeth and gave up on his pride. He decided to follow Xiao Tianquan and piss on them all the way. Xiao Tianquan pissed on the right, and he pissed on the left. They had to be fair. With that in mind, Wang Mang walked to a shop and got ready to work. The young female powerhouse blushed when she saw Wang Mang's behavior. She looked at Wang Mang in shock and said in a panic, What are you doing? Wang Mang was shameless and said arrogantly, What am I doing? Piss on you. After that, Wang Mang straightened his back and pissed on the female shop owner's face. The young female powerhouse couldn't help but scream. She sold weapons, but she didn't sell demonic beast meat. But the whole stall was taken care of by Wang Mang. Looking at the flustered female Earth celestial powerhouse, who was covered in his own piss, he felt a little guilty. CK. My piss is a little golden. Looks like I've been heaty lately. Thinking of this, he pissed on the way. After all, Wang Mang was an Earth celestial powerhouse. As long as he wanted to piss, there was no end to it. Therefore, Wang Mang's piss was like a water pipe. Everywhere he went, all the stalls suffered. Many villagers who came and went stopped immediately. They looked at the strange scene in front of them in astonishment. Xiao Tianquan was at the right stall, and Wang Mang was at the left stall. The two of them piss on each side. This simply caused the entire bustling street in the village to be in a state of chaos. Big brother, don't be like this. I'll give you a complete corpse of a heaven, celestial stage, demonic beast. At this moment, Wang Mang, who was enjoying himself, was about to continue to piss on the next stall. But the young shop owner immediately begged for mercy. Hearing that, Wang Mang stopped piss. He looked at the corpse of a heaven, celestial stage, demonic beast in the iron cage that the shop owner sent up. Wang Mang could clearly feel that this heaven celestial stage demonic beast's aura was extraordinarily strong. Therefore, Wang Mang's eyes lit up. He directly exposed his little brother and was too lazy to put it away, because he would continue to piss later. However, Wang Mang was still happy to put the corpse of the heaven celestial stage demonic beast into his storage space. Then, Wang Mang nodded at the young shop owner with satisfaction. You're very thoughtful. I won't piss on you. After that, Wang Mang bypassed the stall that sold demonic beasts, which made the young shop owner, who was at the peak of the Earth's celestial stage, secretly feel relieved. But when he saw Wang Mang continue to piss on his way, he was shocked. Without exception, all the shops on the street suffered from this. He couldn't help but gloat. Just like that, Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan continued to piss on their way. It could be said that they were enjoying themselves. But this also caused all the powerhouses who had set up stalls on the streets of the village to curse. Bastard. This is simply a bastard. I've never seen such a shameless bastard. I want to kill them. They gone too far. He actually pissed on my face. It's over. How can I sell my demonic beast meat? Uncle, I beg you to let me go. My two dear ancestors, I beg you to stop your magic. Chapter 453 F***CK. I never thought that one day I would want to kill two demonic beasts. If I can, I want to kill these two dogs and feed them to the pigs. Dad, stop it. You can just heal me, but you can let go of my stall. Oh my God. I'm convinced, okay? I'm convinced. Wails and howls of anguish resounded throughout the streets of the village, especially when they saw the backs of Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan. They gnashed their teeth in hatred. If looks could kill, Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan would have died many times over. At this moment, Wang Mang, who was spitting all the way, he was in a wonderful mood. He felt that for a long time. All the anger and frustration he had suffered had vanished like smoke in thin air, especially when he saw everyone wailing and begging for mercy when they saw him, or cursing loudly. Wang Mang was very happy. As expected, the ancients did not lie to me. If the water was too clear, there would be no fish. If a man was too cheap, he would be invincible. 2 hours later, Wang Mang had almost finished spitting all the food on the street. At this moment, Wang Mang still had two shops in front of him. One of them was the shop that sold demonic beasts from before. The owner of this shop was the fat middle-aged man who harbored ill intentions towards Wang Mang. When he saw Wang Mang walk in front of him, the fat man's face turned green. That was because he had seen all of Wang Mang's actions. Fortunately, he was relieved that he had received the news in advance. He had kept the demonic beast meat from the stall in advance. Thinking of this, the fat man could not help but secretly sigh in relief. Then, looking at the dumbfounded Wang Mang standing in front of him, he could not help but say proudly, I've already kept it in advance. Let's see what you're going to do. Hearing this, Wang Mang was unhappy, but he already had an idea. At this moment, seeing that Wang Mang still did not do anything, the fat man could not help but say, How about this? You don't have to spit on me. Let's just forget about what happened between us. I promise I won't target you, and I won't do anything to you. Obviously, the fat man was also afraid that Wang Mang would rely on him. After all, he already knew that Wang Mang planned to live in this village. He was also afraid that Wang Mang would specially guard the shop and spit on him every day. If that happened, he could forget about doing business. Therefore, he did not dare to say anything to Wang Mang. Right now, he only hoped that the grudge between him and Wang Mang could be written off, because this was the first time he realized that demonic beasts could be so disgusting. But right at this moment, the fat man's face suddenly stiffened, and he tasted something in his mouth. At the same time, a golden liquid. Clearly, Wang Mang had grasped this opportunity. He easily delivered his holy water into the big fatty's mouth. When he saw that the big fatty's mouth was full of his own saliva, Wang Mang could not help but laugh proudly. "Can I spit on you? How is it? You're the first one to drink it. I'm good to you, right? What's that taste?" The fat man completely broke down. He could not help but roar angrily. "I'm going to kill you." After saying that, the fat man was ready to attack, but he was quickly stopped by the shop assistant. "Shopkeeper, don't be rash." "Yes, shopkeeper, don't be rash." After calming down, the fat man only felt nauseous. The taste in his mouth even made him want to die. For a moment, the fat man looked at Wang Mang in exasperation and roared, "What the F***CK? Do you want?" Wang Mang sneered proudly. "Compensate me with a sky immortal level demonic beast. I'm telling you. Otherwise, this is not over. Otherwise, I'll take care of you every day. I'll make your life worse than **T. This blatant threat made the fat man so angry that his face turned red. But he could not do anything. If Wang Mang was outside, he could easily suppress him. But the problem was that Wang Mang was not outside the village, and he wanted to stay in the village and not leave. Aggrieved, the fat man said with a gloomy face, "If I give you a sky immortal level demonic beast, will our matter be written off? You won't come to my stall to cause trouble in the future." Hearing this, Wang Mang's heart suddenly lit up. He immediately knew that this guy was ready to compromise. Thinking of this, Wang Mang suppressed his excitement and nodded proudly. "Of course, among the demons, I am the most trustworthy and fastidious demon." Hearing this, the fat man's expression changed. After a long silence, a 3-meter-tall iron cage appeared in front of him. In this iron cage, there was a sky immortal level tiger covered in wounds. Its mental state was very bad. "Is it still alive?" This made Wang Mang somewhat surprised. At this time, the fat man explained, "If you want to kill it, just inject your Dharma power into the cage, and you can kill it easily." Hearing this, Wang Mang came to a sudden realization. He nodded in satisfaction and said, "All right, I'll take it." Then, Wang Mang carried the cage and left. Seeing this, the fat man smiled and said, "Fellow cultivator, take care." Obviously, since he had already given the item away, he did not care to say a few more words. However, Wang Mang ignored him and carried the cage and continued to feed the other two shops. At this time, Xiao Tianquan also walked up with a face full of excitement. "Master, it's done." As it spoke, Xiao Tianquan also carried the 2 cages in its hands excitedly. There was a sky immortal level demonic beast in each of these 2 cages. It could be said that its harvest was not less than Wang Mang's. Seeing this, Wang Mang nodded satisfactorily. "Not bad, not bad. Let's go." After saying that, Wang Mang left arrogantly with Xiao Tianquan. After arriving near the entrance of the village, Wang Mang found a random place to sit down. At the same time, he began to organize his harvest. Because of this urination, Wang Mang did not expect to gain so much. He alone had obtained 2 sky immortal level demonic beasts. 2 of them were dead, and 1 was alive. Other than that, Xiao Tianquan also gained something. It gained 2 living sky immortal level demonic beasts. It could be said that this was an unexpected gain. It was something that Wang Mang did not expect. Moreover, Wang Mang also wanted to know how much energy value he could get by devouring a sky immortal level demonic beast. It was definitely not a small amount, right? Thinking of this, Wang Mang could not help but feel a little excited. He felt that if he devoured these sky immortal level demonic beasts, his strength would definitely soar by a large margin. Thinking of this, Wang Mang took out the corpse of another dead sky immortal level demonic beast. Then, Wang Mang directly opened his bloody mouth and swallowed the sky immortal level demonic beast into his stomach. At the same time, the system's voice sounded, "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully devoured a sky immortal level demonic beast powerhouse. Obtained. Chapter 454. Ding. Congratulations to the host. Successfully devoured a beginning stage heaven celestial stage demonic beast expert. Obtained 10,000 energy value. Ding. The accumulation has met the evolution conditions. Begin evolution. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang could not help but be overjoyed. This heaven celestial stage demonic beast was worth 10,000 energy value. This could be said to be a heaven celestial stage demonic beast, enough for him to evolve twice. In other words, the demonic beast that he had obtained now was enough for him to evolve many times. It was worth mentioning. After eating a heaven celestial stage demonic beast, Wang Mang felt a little uncomfortable, because after eating it, Wang Mang could feel that his body was very full, and there was a huge amount of magic power surging wildly in his body. Fortunately, this uncomfortable feeling did not last long and disappeared completely. At the same time, Wang Mang could not help but look at Xiao Tianquan and said, "Xiao Tianquan, are you trying to break through to the Earth celestial stage?" Hearing that, Xiao Tianquan nodded excitedly and said, "Master, as long as I eat these two heaven celestial stage demonic beasts, I will definitely be able to break through to the heaven celestial stage." Hearing that, Wang Mang thought for a while and decided to give up. He would not take Xiao Tianquan's harvest, because if Xiao Tianquan broke through to the heaven celestial stage, Wang Mang would also benefit. After all, once Xiao Tianquan's strength reached the heaven celestial stage, he would be more confident in this unknown arcane land world. With this thought, Wang Mang immediately said, "Howling celestial dog, we haven't left this mountain village yet. It won't be too late for you to break through after we leave this novice village. After all, this novice village has a rule that does not allow heaven celestial stage powerhouses to appear. If you break through to the heaven celestial stage, you'll be able to leave." After hearing Wang Mang's words, Xiao Tianquan suddenly understood and nodded. "Okay, master. After we leave, I will break through to the realm." Wang Mang then nodded with satisfaction. Besides, he was not going to break through to the realm here. Wang Mang himself was not at ease breaking through to the realm here. At this moment, a weak voice sounded. "Fellow Taoist, can you spare my life?" Upon hearing that, Wang Mang lowered his head and saw the tiger in the cage. Wang Mang didn't know whether to laugh or cry in the face of the tiger in the heavenly immortal stage begging for mercy. If he could subdue it, he might even be able to subdue this tiger. The problem was that he had no way to tame this tiger. The tiger's strength had reached the earth immortal realm. Therefore, Wang Mang said helplessly, "I want to subdue you. Unfortunately, you're too strong." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the tiger couldn't help but beg, "I can swear that I will never betray you." Hearing this, Wang Mang fell into deep thought. He was not affected by the tiger's words. Instead, Wang Mang was thinking about another problem. Could his divine ability be improved again? Because of his two control god arts, King's Enslavement or Soul Controlling Seal. It was a little useless to him, because Wang Mang's strength was enough to fight against those of a higher level. His actual combat power was much stronger than his cultivation level. Therefore, controlling existences of the same level was not of much help to Wang Mang. Unless it was controlling existences stronger than him, it would be of great help to him. Thinking of this, Wang Mang seemed to vaguely remember that he still had a chance to improve his divine ability. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's eyes lit up, and then he couldn't help but ask in his heart, "System, use the chance to improve divine ability. Use target soul controlling seal." The next moment, the system's voice sounded, "Ding. The host has successfully used the chance to improve divine ability." Gentle reminder. After using this divine ability, you need to fuse another divine ability into it, preferably similar to the same divine ability. Please choose the fused divine ability to improve the divine ability. Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned at first. Then after pondering for a while, Wang Mang had already made a decision. System. Use King's enslavement as the divine ability needed to improve it. The next moment, the system's voice sounded again, ding. Congratulations to the host. You have successfully improved the divine ability. Ding. The host's current new divine ability is Soul Controlling Seal. Soul Controlling Seal. You can control a target whose strength is not higher than your own by one stage. For example, the host is currently at the initial stage of Earth's celestial stage. The limit of using divine ability to control a target is at the initial stage of Heaven's celestial stage. The maximum success rate is 30%. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was instantly overjoyed. What I need, I get it. He just wanted a divine ability that could control powerhouses. Now it was here. Moreover, the improved divine ability was much stronger than the previous two divine abilities. The previous two divine abilities were of little value to Wang Mang now. After all, he could only control existences of the same stage at most. But existences of the same stage had no effect on Wang Mang. He was almost invincible in the same stage now. It was useless for him to control subordinates of the same stage. However, it was different now. With the Soul Controlling Seal, he could control powerhouses at the initial stage of Heaven Celestial Stage. And there were quite a number of Heaven Celestial Stage powerhouses in this newbie village. Didn't this mean that he could control a large number of Heaven Celestial Stage powerhouses and become rich in one fell swoop? Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly became excited, then said to the tiger, I will use some means to control you later. Don't resist. If you can successfully control me, I will spare your life. After hearing Wang Mang's words, the Heaven Celestial Stage tiger fell into silence. Wang Mang was not in a hurry. He knew that the tiger was struggling. As expected, after a long time, the Heaven Celestial Stage tiger gritted his teeth and said, All right, come on. Hearing that, Wang Mang nodded with satisfaction and excitement, then directly used the divine ability Soul Controlling Seal. However, after using the divine ability, Wang Mang felt dizzy and his vision blurred. It was as if all his strength had been sucked out. He was exhausted like never before. It was as if he had entered a period of weakness. At the same time, Wang Mang quietly checked his status and was even more shocked. He had used up 90% of his energy to use the Soul Controlling Seal once. In other words, Wang Mang could not use it twice in a day. At most, he could only use it once a day. He could only use it again after he had recovered his strength. Wang Mang could not help but feel a lingering fear. This divine ability consumed too much energy. Fortunately, he was not in a state of battle now. Otherwise, he would definitely be defeated. At this moment, the system's voice rang in Wang Mang's mind again. Ding! Congratulations, host. Control successful. After hearing the system's notification in his mind, Wang Mang felt even more incredulous. F***CK. The highest success rate was only 30%, but he succeeded after using it once. Chapter 455. To be honest, such a low success rate. Wang Mang himself did not have much confidence. He even thought that it would take a few tries to successfully control it. However, the result was unexpected. It actually succeeded on the first try. According to Wang Mang's guess, this was probably because the tiger in the celestial immortal realm did not resist at all. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was in a good mood. He seemed to have imagined himself leading a group of celestial immortal demon clan experts and dominating all the way. At the same time, Wang Mang could not help but look at the other two celestial immortal demon clan experts. However, Wang Mang did not make a move on these two guys in the end, because these two guys were the leftovers for Xiao Tianquan's advancement. At this time, the tiger and the celestial immortal realm expert in the iron cage said respectfully to Wang Mang, Greetings, master. Xiao Tianquan was dumbfounded by this scene. He did not expect his master to be so powerful. He actually had the supernatural power to control experts. Thinking of this, Xiao Tianquan looked at Wang Mang with even more admiration. This was a real, supernatural power that defied the natural order. At the same time, Wang Mang also nodded with satisfaction. Then, he turned into his human form and said to the tiger in the celestial immortal realm, "I'll call you Shan Jun from now on." "Shan Jun, Master, how can I let you out?" After hearing Wang Mang's words, the tiger in the celestial immortal realm hurriedly said with joy, "Master, you just need to erase the runes inscribed with Dharma power on it." Only then did Wang Mang's gaze fall on the cage. Then, he carefully observed and found that there were many strange runes on it. This was the first time Wang Mang saw this. Intrigued, he subconsciously reached out and wiped it. The runes disappeared. This caused Wang Mang to be extremely surprised. He didn't expect this thing to be so mystical. He wondered who designed this cage. The next moment, Wang Mang saw the tiger in the cage turn into a gust of demonic wind and easily get out of it. Then, the tiger turned into a burly young man and knelt on one knee in front of Wang Mang and said respectfully, "Shan Jun greets Master." Wang Mang nodded with satisfaction and said, "Not bad, not bad. You don't look well. Recover on the spot." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the burly young man nodded respectfully, but there was a complicated look in his eyes. Then, he sat down cross-legged and began to recover. Similarly, Wang Mang also sat down cross-legged to recover, because executing the God Control Seal was truly too torturous. Using it almost made him lose his combat ability. A day later, only then did Wang Mang slowly open his eyes. His sharp eyes looked exceptionally sharp and spirited. At the same time, Wang Mang's condition had also recovered to its peak. In addition, Shan Jun, who was next to Wang Mang, had also recovered. Compared to Shan Jun a day ago, he was now at his peak. At this time, Shan Jun had already stood up and said respectfully to Wang Mang, "Master, I have to leave. Master, I have to leave this place. Otherwise, the consequences will be dire." Wang Mang was immediately puzzled, his face filled with confusion. Seeing this, Shan Jun smiled bitterly and explained, "Master, have you forgotten? This is the newbie village. No one can break the rules here. No celestial stage powerhouses are allowed to exist. So, I have to leave the village now. Master, I will wait for your call in the nearby primitive forest mountains." Wang Mang, who was suddenly enlightened, nodded and waved his hand, saying, "Okay, go ahead. Just hide in the primitive forest mountains outside and wait for my call." Hearing this, Shan Jun nodded respectfully and quickly left the newbie village. "Master, will that tiger escape?" Xiao Tianquan could not help but ask. Hearing this, Wang Mang did not know whether to laugh or cry, saying, "Don't worry, he won't escape. Let's go. Come with me to collect the protection fee again. Let's try to torment them for another 2 days, then we can escape. After all, we still have a mission. We still have to find the 2 mission targets." Xiao Tianquan nodded slightly. He had wanted to remind Wang Mang, but now it seemed that he had thought too much. However, when he thought of the rewards he received every time he went to collect the protection fee, Xiao Tianquan was eager to try. The last time they unintentionally planted a willow tree, the rewards were unexpected. It could only be said that it was too awesome. Seeing that Xiao Tianquan was eager to try, Wang Mang smiled proudly, then called out, "Let's go." Then, the two of them immediately walked toward the streets of the village with very arrogant steps. The two of them were like devils entering the village. Everywhere they passed, there was a commotion and many people stayed away. This was because Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan had wreaked havoc in the newbie village yesterday. Therefore, the entire village now knew about the glorious battle results of Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan. When Wang Mang arrived at the first shop, the shop owner saw Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan and could not help but feel bitter. "Two masters you are?" Hearing this, Wang Mang sized up the middle-aged shop owner. He was a shop that sold consumable treasures. Therefore, after thinking for a while, Wang Mang rubbed his fingers and asked, "You didn't pay the protection fee yesterday. What are you going to give me?" Hearing this, the middle-aged shop owner hesitated. Seeing this, Xiao Tianquan immediately came to Wang Mang excitedly and asked, "Master, should I feed him?" Saying this, Xiao Tianquan was about to unbuckle his belt, his face full of excitement. Seeing this, the middle-aged shop owner's face turned green. Wait! He hurriedly shouted and took out a yellow talisman paper from his storage bag and sighed. He sighed and said, "Two masters, this is a space teleportation talisman made by a Stage 4 elite. Once used, you can teleport thousands of miles away. However, the cost of using it once is not low. This is definitely a very good, life-saving trump card. I'll give it to the two of you." Hearing this, Wang Mang's eyes lit up, and he took the space teleportation talisman. He had used this space teleportation talisman before. This was indeed a good thing. After keeping the space teleportation talisman, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction and waved his hand. "Xiao Tianquan, let's go to the next shop." After that, Wang Mang came to the second shop. This was a middle-aged shop owner whose strength was also at the peak of the Earth God realm. Her shop sold the blood of various demonic beasts of different strength levels. However, when Wang Mang came, she immediately put away the items. When she saw Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan, she said coldly, "No." Hearing this, Wang Mang did not get angry. He shouted at the howling celestial hound, "Help me heal her." "Okay," Xiao Tianquan replied excitedly. Then it opened its pants pocket and started to release water. However, the woman at the peak of the Earth God realm was already prepared. She dodged easily and did not get hit. However, her entire shop was filled with the golden liquid, and the smell of urine was very strong. Seeing Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan leave, the middle-aged woman's face turned ugly, and she was so angry that she was trembling. Of course, this was none of Wang Mang's business. At this moment, Wang Mang came to the third shop. This shop was the fat shop that sold demonic beast meat. When he saw Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan, he could not help but burst out in anger. "Why are the two of you here again? Didn't we agree yesterday that you will not trouble me in the future?" Chapter 456. Wang Mang was stunned for a moment, and then he felt a little guilty. However, Wang Mang still pretended to be at a loss and asked, "Did I say that yesterday?" Seeing that Wang Mang did not admit it, the middle-aged fat man was so angry that he was trembling all over. "You said it yourself yesterday. As long as I hand over a heaven immortal stage demonic beast, you won't find trouble with me in the future." Wang Mang looked like he suddenly realized something. He nodded and admitted, "I think I did say that." Seeing that Wang Mang admitted it, the fat man's expression eased a little. However, at the next moment, Wang Mang changed his tone and said, "I'm not the one looking for trouble with you. This time, he's the one looking for trouble with you." As he spoke, Wang Mang pulled the howling celestial dog beside him with a sincere look. After seeing the howling celestial dog, the fat man's face instantly stiffened. How could he not know that the howling celestial dog would definitely listen to Wang Mang's orders? This was obviously a way to get benefits from him. Thinking of this, the fat man's heart was bleeding. He wanted to refuse, but he was afraid that Wang Mang would target him. Moreover, he had already given one yesterday. If he did not give it to him, what he gave yesterday would be wasted. For a moment, the fat man was in a dilemma. His expression was extremely ugly. Seeing that the fat man did not refuse, Wang Mang immediately smiled and said, "How about this? Give him another heaven immortal stage demonic beast, and I promise that we won't find trouble with you in the future." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the fat man almost could not help but curse. However, he still suppressed the anger in his heart. He looked at Wang Mang with a face full of suspicion and said in a deep voice, "How can you guarantee that what you said is true? What if you come again tomorrow?" Hearing the other party's distrustful tone, Wang Mang was not surprised. Instead, he said in a deep voice with a serious face, "If you give us another heaven immortal stage demonic beast, if we find trouble with you again, we're worse than pigs and dogs." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the fat man's expression eased a little. "Really?" Wang Mang immediately made a solemn vow. "It's true. Even pearls aren't this real. Good. I'll believe you one more time. If you still come looking for trouble with me tomorrow, I'll F*** King kill you." Hearing the fatty's ferocious roar, Wang Mang immediately smiled and nodded. "Don't worry, I am the most trustworthy demon among the demons." Hearing this, the fat man's expression eased slightly. But what puzzled the fat man was that he seemed to have heard Wang Mang's words before. However, the fatty didn't think too much about it. Instead, he took out an iron cage from his demonic beast storage pouch. In this cage, there was also a heavenly immortal realm demonic beast imprisoned. Wang Mang's gaze also subconsciously turned towards the demonic beast in the cage. This heavenly immortal stage demonic beast was also alive. It was a snow-white fox. After picking up the cage, Wang Mang then went on to the next village with satisfaction and continued to sweep. A few hours later, Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan successfully swept the streets of the beginner's village once again. Moreover, Wang Mang's harvest this time was much greater than yesterday. Today, he had harvested 6 heavenly immortal stage demonic beasts. 4 of them were dead and 2 were alive. Other than that, he had also harvested 3 treasures of heaven and earth. The treasures of heaven and earth here were not ordinary treasures of heaven and earth. They were treasures of heaven and earth that had reached the immortal level. It could be said that Wang Mang's harvest was so great that he couldn't calculate it, because Wang Mang himself didn't know. If he used up these gains, how powerful would he be? This was not counting the 2 heavenly immortal stage demonic beasts that Xiao Tianquan had harvested yesterday. Similarly, Wang Mang also decided to leave this place as soon as possible, because his mission was to anger the entire beginner's village. Wang Mang felt that he should have angered enough. Thinking of this, Wang Mang prepared to leave tonight, because in the entire beginner's village, no one would have thought they would leave at this time. Therefore, when night came, Wang Mang brought Xiao Tianquan and quietly left the beginner's village. Early in the morning of the 3rd day, the people in the beginner's village only realized that Wang Mang had left. But after discovering this problem, they didn't have the slightest intention of taking revenge. Instead, they all heaved a sigh of relief, because if Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan came to torment them every day, the beginner's village would not have peace. At this moment, in a barren primitive mountain range, Wang Mang, who had already found the cave, immediately went into the cave. As for Xiao Tianquan, it had already gone into seclusion to break through to the heavenly immortal stage. Similarly, Wang Mang was also preparing to go into seclusion to improve his strength. Then, he would continue to look for the mission target. In addition, Wang Mang could now improve his strength in peace, because Shanjun was guarding the cave for him outside. Therefore, Wang Mang directly took out the corpses of the 4 demon clan experts from the heaven immortal realm from the storage space. Then, Wang Mang transformed into his original form and couldn't wait to swallow the corpses of the 4 demon clan experts into his stomach. It took Wang Mang a few hours before he finally finished eating the corpses of the 4 heavenly immortal realm demon clan experts. At the same time, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. "Congratulations, host. Successfully devoured a demon clan expert of the heaven immortal realm. Obtained 10,000 energy values. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully devoured a demon clan expert of the heaven immortal realm. Obtained 10,000 energy values. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully devoured a demon clan expert of the heaven immortal realm. Obtained 10,000 energy values. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully devoured a demon clan expert of the heaven immortal realm. Obtained 10,000 energy values. Ding. Accumulate to meet the evolution conditions. Begin evolution? No. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was overjoyed. 40,000 energy values. This was enough for him to evolve many times. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but feel excited. Then, Wang Mang suppressed his excitement and took out the other 3 immortal-level heavenly treasures. Then, Wang Mang swallowed the 3 immortal-level heavenly treasures into his mouth. The system's voice sounded again, frowny-faced Ding. Congratulations, host. Devoured an Earth immortal level heavenly treasure. Obtained 3,000 energy values. Ding. Congratulations, host. Devoured an Earth immortal level heavenly treasure. Obtained 3,000 energy values. Ding. Congratulations, host. Devoured an Earth immortal level heavenly treasure. Obtained 4,000 energy values. Ding. Accumulate to meet the evolution conditions. Begin evolution? No. Hearing this, Wang Mang was in a good mood. Then, the system's voice sounded again, frowny-faced Ding. Congratulations, host. Mission completed. Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained 2,000 energy values. Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained a Supreme Gray Blind Box X1. Ding. Accumulate to meet the evolution conditions. Begin evolution. Chapter 457. No. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was in a good mood, but he didn't evolve immediately. He wanted to see how much energy he had accumulated this time, and roughly what level he had reached. With that thought, Wang Mang said in his heart, "System, open my personal information." The next moment, his personal information appeared before his eyes. Wang Mang, 5 Mountains Mountain God. Type, Giant Python of Starry Sky. Cultivation experience, 10,400 years, Earth Celestial. Combat power, health points 230, energy points 230, general attack 20, general defense 18, recovery 15%. Body shape, 320 meters long, 18 meters wide, weight 90,000 tons, bite force 90,000 tons, speed 200 kilometers per hour. Divine powers, God controlling seal, broken body rebirth, eye of sin, black hole vortex, star destruction, heaven and earth escape, wishful bone spur, thunder spell, horizon step, shape-shifting. Space, information detection, celestial plate X1, divine powers lucky draw ticket X1, mesmerizing incense X1, one-time mission free horror card, superb blind box X2, diamond treasure chest X2, space teleportation talisman X1. Luck, 299, flood of fortune. Energy points, 64,000/4,200. Current ranking, global powerhouse ranking top 10. Changes may be refreshed at any time. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang's face was full of joy. His energy value had actually reached 64,000. In other words, his strength would definitely soar this time. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but feel a little excited. Then, without hesitation, he said in his heart, "System, start evolving." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced Ding. 4,200 energy points have been successfully deducted. Ding. 4,400 energy points have been successfully deducted. Ding. 4,600 energy points have been successfully deducted. Ding. 4,800 energy points have been successfully deducted. Ding. 5,000 energy points have been successfully deducted. Ding. 6,400 energy points have been successfully deducted. Ding. Beginning evolution. This evolution will be completed 12 times in a row. It will take 2 days to complete. Ding. Warm reminder. After this evolution, the system page has changed. The more optimized mode will be removed. The next moment, Wang Mang completely lost consciousness during the evolution. But during the evolution, the system's voice sounded again, frowny-faced Ding. The host's current template is insufficient for 12 consecutive evolutions. Ding. The system automatically upgraded the template, deducting the requirements for upgrading the template. 400 evolution points and a diamond treasure chest. 2 days later, Wang Mang slowly woke up from his evolution. After awakening from the evolution, Wang Mang's first thought was that his body was too bloated. It was as if there was an endless amount of power in his body. This feeling of incomparable power made Wang Mang feel as if he had the power to destroy heaven and earth with every move he made. Of course, This powerful feeling also gave Wang Mang an incomparably satisfying feeling. Is this me after my evolution? 12 consecutive evolutions? At this moment, Wang Mang was shocked as he felt the power in his body. Strong, very strong. Right now, he felt that his strength had skyrocketed too much. Of course, Wang Mang wasn't sure how strong he had become after this crazy evolution. But Wang Mang knew that this was the first time he had evolved so much. He had directly evolved 12 times in a row. Thinking about this, Wang Mang couldn't help but be excited. At the same time, he said in his heart, "System, open my personal information." This was because he wanted to see how strong he had become. In the next moment, his personal information appeared in front of his eyes. Wang Mang, 5 mountain god type, giant starry sky python, overload cultivation, 12,600 years, earth immortal middle stage, body, HP 900, energy 900, length 368 meters, width 19 meters, weight 200,000 tons, bite force 200,000 tons, speed 200 kilometers per hour. Divine ability, God control seal, broken body rebirth, evil eye, black hole vortex, star destruction, heaven flight, earth escape, wishful bone spur, thunder spell, one-step world horizon, 10,000 changes. Space, information detection, immortal tablet X1, divine ability lottery ticket X1, mesmerizing fragrance X1, one-time mission free horror card, best quality blind box X2, diamond treasure chest X1, space shifting talisman X1. Luck, 299, flood of fortune. Energy, 0/6800 current ranking. Global powerhouse ranking number 9. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang was even more shocked. His cultivation had increased by more than 2,000 years. His body length had reached 368 meters. Moreover, it had exceeded the current template limit, which was 18 meters. Other than that, his HP and energy had increased tremendously. However, there were still a few attributes that had disappeared. For example, general attack, defense, and recovery. These 3 attributes had disappeared. This was probably due to the changes in the systems page. Thinking up to here, Wang Mang couldn't help but nod to himself. The only thing that made him speechless was that Wang Mang realized that he had lost a diamond treasure chest. Perhaps the system deducted it? Thinking of this, Wang Mang could not help but ask in his heart, "System, where's my other diamond treasure chest? Why was it deducted?" In the next moment, the system's voice sounded. Due to the host's 12 consecutive evolutions, the template limit is overloaded. The system deducted a certain amount of energy in the diamond treasure chest as consumption. As expected, after listening to the system's voice, the doubts in Wang Mang's heart disappeared. Wang Mang, who was in a good mood, opened his mouth and said, "Shan Jun, bring the 2 cages in." In the next moment, Shan Jun, who was guarding outside the cave, brought the 2 cages in. Naturally, the 2 cages held 2 heavenly immortal stage demon clan powerhouses. They were a white fox and a large gray rat. After Wang Mang transformed into his human form, he looked at the 2 cages and said slowly, "Now, I'll give you 2 choices. Either you let go of your mind and let me control you, and then you'll recognize me as your master. The second choice is that I'll kill and eat all of you." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the white fox and the gray rat in the cages were shocked. After a moment of silence, the white fox said helplessly, "Fellow cultivator, can you let me go? I can catch a heavenly immortal powerhouse as compensation." Wang Mang was slightly surprised, but he did not let her go just because she was a female. He said indifferently, "Do you think that's possible? There are only 2 choices. Listen carefully. Give me an answer." At this time, the other big gray rat said in a weak voice, "You're right. The flying fur rat is willing to recognize you as its master." Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction and said, "Very good." After that, Wang Mang looked at the white fox and said coldly, "What about you? Hurry up. Give me an answer." In the face of Wang Mang's undisguised murderous intent, the white fox finally chose to lower her head and said bitterly, The white fox is also willing to recognize you as its master. Chapter 458. Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction when the white fox lowered its head. After that, Wang Mang began to prepare to subdue the two demonic beasts. However, Wang Mang did not expect that. It only took him 2 days to subdue the two demonic beasts. Both demonic beasts were successfully subdued in one go. In Wang Mang's opinion, it was very likely because his strength had skyrocketed. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's mood was even better. Now he had 4 heaven immortal experts under him. By then, after leaving the secret realm, it would be a big shot. Moreover, his strength had reached the middle stage of the earth immortal realm. It could be said that Wang Mang's harvest from this trip to the novice village was beyond imagination. At this moment, Wang Mang, who was sitting at the entrance of the cave, suddenly saw the howling celestial dog flying back from afar. "Greetings, master," the howling celestial dog said happily. Wang Mang looked for a moment and nodded in satisfaction. He could feel that the howling celestial dog's strength had reached the heaven immortal realm. Although it was much weaker than Shan Jun, Flying Hare Rat, and the White Fox. But it had reached the heaven immortal realm. Very good. Since you have broken through to the heaven immortal realm, let's set off then. Wang Mang waved his hand in high spirits and then set off with the 4 heaven immortal experts. It was worth mentioning that when Wang Mang was rushing, he also compared his speed with the 4 heaven immortal experts. His speed was indeed far inferior to the experts of the heaven immortal realm. But in the case of using one step in the world, Wang Mang could easily shake off his subordinates of the heaven immortal realm. 5 days later, Wang Mang and his subordinates had already searched many villages. Unfortunately, they did not find the mission target. Moreover, most of the places in this world were villages. The number of small cities was very small. Moreover, the requirements of these small cities were even more abnormal. If one wanted to enter these small cities, the minimum strength requirement was the Earth Immortal Realm. The highest strength could not exceed the Immortal Emperor Realm. Unfortunately, this secret realm was too big. It was even bigger than Earth. Therefore, Wang Mang couldn't find any clues even after searching for a long time. With no other choice, Wang Mang ordered his 4 subordinates to split up and search in 5 different directions. Just like that, Wang Mang searched for another half a month, but he still didn't find anything. Wang Mang had no choice but to ask for help from the system. Thinking of this, Wang Mang asked in his heart, "System, where are the 2 targets I'm looking for?" The next moment, the system's voice sounded. "Ding! The information requested by the host requires 1,000 energy values." Ding! Detected that the host currently has no energy value. Host can choose to pay a diamond treasure chest or a top-grade blind box. Do you want to ask? After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang felt helpless. In the end, he clenched his teeth and said, "System, give me a diamond treasure chest." The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! A warm reminder to the host. Han Meng is currently in Oolong City. Ding! A warm reminder to the host. Deli Reba is currently in Simba City. Hearing this, Wang Mang couldn't help but feel elated. After that, Wang Mang pondered for a while, then waved at Xiao Tianquan, who was not far away. "Master, what's wrong?" Xiao Tianquan was confused. Wang Mang said slowly, "Your target is in Simba City. Go. After you find your target, come to Oolong City and meet me." "Really?" Xiao Tianquan's eyes lit up. Wang Mang nodded slightly. Then Xiao Tianquan left excitedly. Without guessing, Wang Mang knew that this guy was going to find out where Simba City was. After all, finding a small city was much easier than finding a needle in a haystack. Just as Wang Mang was about to lead his subordinates to search for Oolong City, a gentle voice sounded. A gentle voice sounded. "Master, I know where Oolong City is." Hearing this, Wang Mang turned to look at the white fox. The white fox's figure was pretty good. If one had to evaluate her according to modern standards, she would be beautiful. She had fair skin, a beautiful face, long legs, and a charming and seductive face. Just based on her looks alone, She was much more beautiful than those so-called internet celebrities. Therefore, during this period of time, Wang Mang couldn't help but take a few more glances at her. Wang Mang asked curiously, "You know about Oolong City?" Hearing this, the white fox nodded slightly and revealed a seductive smile. "Of course, master. I've been to Oolong City twice. Lead the way." Wang Mang didn't waste any more time and gave the order. Following this, Wang Mang, Shan Jun, and Flying Hare Rat started their journey to Oolong City under the lead of the white fox. What made Wang Mang happy was that in just one day, Wang Mang found this so-called Oolong City. This Oolong City was located at the foot of the Black Wind Mountain. It was a small city. When Wang Mang arrived at the entrance of Oolong City, he saw many powerhouses coming in and out. Among them, there were powerhouses of the Demon Clan and also powerhouses of the Human Clan. There were even many Taoist priests and monks. What made Wang Mang happy was that the rules of Oolong City also set the Earth's celestial stage as the minimum. Therefore, Wang Mang brought his 3 subordinates into Oolong City. It was worth mentioning that Oolong City was very lively. Not only were there demonic beasts being sold, but there were also Taoist priests, monks, and beautiful women of the Human Clan. Most of the powerhouses in this city were at the heaven celestial stage. There were even celestial kings. Wang Mang even met a few of them. On the contrary, there were fewer Earth celestial stage powerhouses. Also, what made Wang Mang even more excited was that after he entered Oolong City, the jade slip in his hand, which had been motionless, finally started to vibrate slightly. This was obviously a reaction that had never happened before. Moreover, after careful observation by Wang Mang, the closer the jade slip was to the target, the stronger the vibration. Therefore, relying on this feeling, Wang Mang finally led his subordinates to a huge street square. At the same time, the jade slip in Wang Mang's hand was vibrating the most violently. However, there were already many experts surrounding the square set up on the street. Not only that, Wang Mang also found 3 familiar faces among the surrounding powerhouses. They were the Universe God, the Lord of Sacrifice, and the Lord of the 18 levels of Hell. Perhaps he had noticed Wang Mang's gaze. The Lord of Sacrifice suddenly turned his head and looked at Wang Mang. When he saw Wang Mang, he was relatively calm. However, when he saw the 3 powerhouses of the heaven's celestial stage behind Wang Mang, his expression changed slightly. However, Wang Mang didn't pay any attention to him. Instead, his gaze was fixed on the stage. Because, if Wang Mang guessed correctly, the target he was looking for was nearby. In addition, he had already searched the crowd of powerhouses nearby, but there was no one. Then, this proved that the target he was looking for was on the stage. At this moment, an old man with a terrifying aura suddenly descended from the sky and landed steadily on the square. This was an old man with a head full of white hair and a cold face. He was dressed in a green Taoist robe and said with a smile, "Today, I have something fun for everyone." As soon as he finished speaking, the old man waved his sleeve, and the black cloth covering more than 10 large cages on the stage was lifted. More than 10 beautiful women were locked up in these large cages, and they were all top-notch beauties. Wang Mang immediately noticed that in one of the cages, there was a stunning beauty that made his eyes light up. In this cage was a cat girl with folded ears. She looked very cute and seductive, and there was a pair of cat ears on her head. She had a pair of beautiful blue eyes that looked like the starry sky. Her extremely petite body was extremely voluptuous. Although she was just curled up in the cage in fear, a pink cattail was inadvertently exposed behind her. If one had to describe her, it would be a lowly version of a cat girl. Moreover, there was a sign hanging on the cage where she was locked up, and there was a line of words on it. Number 1, top-notch young cat girl. At the same time, after the stunning beauties locked up in the 10 cages floated to the surface, the powerhouses around the square were completely in an uproar. F***CK. Sure enough, the Demon Lord must have something good when he goes out. Number 1. I will buy it, even if I have to go bankrupt. Number 1 is mine. My brother's thirst is unbearable. I still prefer number 9. Number 9 is from the Liu Yaonu clan. Her cultivation is higher, and she is more resistant to rough treatment. F***CK. Brother, what you said makes sense. Then, I will choose number 13. Number 13's cultivation is also high, and she is a top-notch dragon girl. I want number 6. Number 6 is the best. She is actually a fox girl. Aren't you a F***King Taoist? Why are you, a Taoist, joining the fun? I am a Taoist. This is none of your business. You are a F***King monk, and you have the nerve to talk about me? Chapter 459. Why do so many people like number 1? Isn't number 11 better? She's a pure beauty of the human race. That's right. I like human beauties. I also think number 11 is good. For a time, under the square, many experts spoke excitedly. There was even an extremely evil look in their eyes. Obviously, even if they became experts, they could not avoid some hobbies. At the same time, Wang Mang also shifted his target. He looked at the beauties in the other iron cages. What made Wang Mang sigh in admiration was that these various beauties were simply dazzling to the eye. Even Wang Mang, who was disinterested in the world, felt a little amorous when he saw them. In the end, he shook his head firmly. He was not that kind of person, and he could not be attracted by beauty. Lust was a knife, and lust was a bone scraper. After comforting himself in this way, Wang Mang calmed down. At the same time, Wang Mang was also searching for the most likely target among the dozen or so caged beauties. In the end, Wang Mang's target fell on number 11, because Wang Mang felt that the target he was looking for was very likely to be number 11. Just speaking of number 11, Wang Mang could not help but feel a little puzzled, because this beauty number 11 was too similar to a classmate he knew in the past. Of course, it was just a resemblance. Wang Mang could not be sure that the target number 11 was looking for was his former classmate. At this time, Wang Mang suddenly noticed. Not far away, Universe God, the Lord of the 18 levels of hell, and even the Lord of Sacrifice were a little excited. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang immediately guessed something. The last possibility was that their targets were all in this square. Thinking of this, Wang Mang could not help but be secretly surprised. Wasn't this too much of a coincidence? Their targets had all been caught, and they were all in this square. At this time, the green-robed old man in the square spoke again. Okay, everyone, the next item to be auctioned is number 1. The starting price is 3 heavenly immortal level treasures of heaven and earth, or 3 heavenly immortal demonic beasts. After hearing this, all the powerhouses in the square gasped one after another. Even Wang Mang could not help but feel his scalp go numb. Damn, when did women become so valuable? In modern times, they needed a car and begged for food. Was it still so precious now? But after seeing the beauty of these beauties, Wang Mang was relieved. At this moment, a monk with a wretched expression roared angrily, "For heavenly, immortal-grade treasures." In response, Wang Mang glanced at the fat monk and thought to himself, were all monks so rich these days? At this moment, several more voices rang out. 5 heavenly, immortal-grade treasures of heaven and earth. 6 heavenly, immortal-level demonic beasts. 6 mid-stage, heavenly, immortal demonic beasts. 8 heavenly, immortal-level demonic beasts. After hearing the sounds of bidding, Feng Xiu was stunned. Wang Mang felt bitter in his heart and could only watch anxiously. Because it was the turn of mission number 11. Could he just watch as his mission target was auctioned off? A few minutes later, this cat girl was bought. The transaction price was 9 heavenly immortal-grade treasures of heaven and earth. And the person who bought this young cat girl, it was an old man at the peak of the heavenly immortal stage. During the bidding process, Wang Mang saw that Cosmic God also participated in the bidding. Therefore, Wang Mang guessed that this cat girl might be his mission target. So when he saw that the other party did not succeed in bidding for the target, he could not help but gloat. At the same time, he was extremely anxious and impetuous. After all, he had nothing to bid for. Thinking of this, Wang Mang could not help but have a headache. What should he do? Could he just watch as the mission target was bought by someone else? Thinking of this, Wang Mang could not help but feel his heart sink. To be honest, Wang Mang was truly helpless, so much so that he didn't even have a clue. And just as Wang Mang was thinking of a way, the auction in the square had unknowingly come to number 10. Wang Mang's heart was in his throat, because it was about to be his target's turn. But Wang Mang still could not think a good way. The only way Wang Mang could think of was infuriate the buyer and then lure him out of the city to rob him. Other than that, Wang Mang could not think of any other way. Thinking of this, Wang Mang whispered to Shan Jun, Flying Hare Rat, and White Fox beside him, "I'll lure him out later. You guys just follow me secretly. After I lure him out, all of you can kill him together." Hearing this, Shan Jun and the other two looked at each other. White Fox could not help but ask, "What if it's an expert at the peak of the heavenly immortal stage?" Wang Mang was stunned and fell into a dilemma. If it was an expert at the peak of the heavenly immortal stage, then even Wang Mang's 3 subordinates might not be a match for him. But other than that, Wang Mang had no other way. He could only pray that the expert who bought his target wasn't too strong. Otherwise, Wang Mang felt that he was done for. Thinking of this, Wang Mang gritted his teeth and said, "No matter how powerful that guy is later, we must take him down. Either he dies or we die." Hearing Wang Mang's determined tone, the 3 of them were shocked. Shan Jun and the other 2 were shocked, and their faces became serious. Of course, they knew what Wang Mang meant. At this time, the green-robed elder in the square said with a smile, "Let's begin. Auction number 13. The starting price is a heavenly immortal level treasure or a heavenly immortal level monster." Hearing this, a few voices came from below. A middle stage heavenly immortal level treasure. 2 middle stage heavenly immortal level treasures. 2 middle stage heavenly immortal level treasures. After a few calls, the crowd quieted down. Many experts thought for a while and shook their heads slightly, unwilling to raise the price. This was because this human beauty wasn't worth the price he was willing to pay. Because compared to other beauties, she was rarer. There were many human beauties in this world. Because there were many human beauties in this world. Therefore, many experts were unwilling to raise the price. Seeing this, Wang Mang suppressed the excitement in his heart and shouted calmly, 3 middle stage heavenly immortal level treasures. Following Wang Mang's shout, many experts glanced at Wang Mang with disdain. In their opinion, Wang Mang was definitely a prodigal son of a demon. Many of the experts present could not help but think to themselves, "If this was my son, I would beat him to death." However, this also meant that there was simply no one competing with Wang Mang. This also made Wang Mang extremely happy and excited. If there were 3 middle stage heavenly immortal level treasures, even if Wang Mang could not afford it, he would ask the system to help him think of a way. At this time, the green-robed elder in the square waited for a while. Seeing that no one continued to raise the price, he smiled and said, 3 middle stage heavenly immortal level treasures. Once, 3 middle stage heavenly immortal level treasures. Twice, 3 middle stage heavenly immortal level treasures. Thrice. Good. Then congratulations. But at this critical juncture, a voice suddenly sounded. Among the crowd of experts in the square, a voice suddenly sounded, "Wait." Chapter 460. The voice came out of nowhere. The entire place fell into a brief silence. This was the first time something like this had happened since the beginning. Many experts turned to look at the person who had spoken. Similarly, Wang Mang, who was extremely gloomy, looked at the person who spoke calmly. In truth, Wang Mang's anger had already soared to the skies. He was about to win the bid, but someone interrupted him halfway. Of course, Wang Mang was furious. However, Wang Mang was even more furious when he saw who the person was. This was because the person was none other than the Lord of Sacrifice. As if he had noticed Wang Mang's gaze, the Lord of Sacrifice smiled at him and said with a relaxed expression, 3 intermediate heaven immortal grade treasure of heaven and earth. The reason why he was so calm was not because he had so many heaven immortal grade treasures of heaven and earth. On the contrary, he saw that Wang Mang had made a bid, so he deliberately made a bid. If possible, he would not mind giving Wang Mang a hard blow. Hearing that, the green-robed elder in the square smiled and said, 3 intermediate heaven immortal grade treasure of heaven and earth. Is there a higher bid? As he spoke, the green-robed elder looked at Wang Mang subconsciously. In the elder demon's opinion, he also thought that Wang Mang was probably a demon second generation and had a lot of money. After all, Wang Mang's strength had not reached the heaven immortal realm, but he had made such a high bid. If he was not a demon's second generation, then what was he? There were even quite a few experts in the surroundings of the plaza who were looking at Wang Mang with ill intentions. Wang Mang was not surprised by this. Instead, he had an indifferent appearance, as if he did not care at all. However, seeing that Wang Mang was so calm, the Lord of Sacrifice started to panic. This was because he could not afford so many heaven immortal grade treasures of heaven and earth. He had obtained a lot of opportunities when he came here. After killing a heaven immortal grade beast to break through his cultivation level, he could not wait for the quest to finish. However, he couldn't wait to find his mission target and reluctantly bought his own mission target. However, he had already spent 5 heavenly immortal grade treasures of heaven and earth to bid for the mission target earlier. Right now, he didn't have any heaven immortal treasures at all. This was the result of him plundering everywhere after entering the secret realm for such a long time. He had painstakingly obtained it. Therefore, when he saw that Wang Mang wasn't going to accept the price, he panicked. Originally, he was prepared to disgust Wang Mang and purposely raise the price. He had no intention of buying it at all. Seeing that Wang Mang was unwilling to bid, the Lord of Sacrifice's heart sank. Could it be that this woman isn't his target? With this thought in mind, the Lord of Sacrifice felt even more uncertain. At the same time, the Lord of Sacrifice could not help but send a voice transmission to Wang Mang. Kid, if you raise the price a bit more, I will definitely not bid anymore. At the same time, Lord of Sacrifice looked at Wang Mang. But when he saw Wang Mang's mocking smile, he was stunned. His heart couldn't help but sink. At this moment, the old man in the green robe on the square also shouted with a smile. 3 mid-tier heaven immortal treasures. Once, twice, 3 times. Deal. Finally, under the Lord of Sacrifice's ferocious gaze, the hammer on the stage had already been hammered. At this moment, the old man in the green robe said with a smile, "Let's congratulate this person. Fellow cultivator, you can come up to hand over the item now." Hearing this, the Lord of Sacrifice's face turned green and red. However, he stood there awkwardly. This caused many experts to be puzzled. Many experts who had roughly guessed the situation had mocking looks on their faces. Fellow cultivator, come up to hand over the item. Elder Mo frowned when he saw that the Lord of Sacrifice was not moving. His tone was a little cold. Hearing this, the Lord of Sacrifice's expression turned ugly. "I can't take it out now." After hearing this, Wang Mang couldn't help but sneer. He knew that this guy couldn't take it out at all. That was why Wang Mang didn't bid against the Lord of Sacrifice. This was because the Lord of Sacrifice had already bid for the mission target earlier. Naturally, Wang Mang didn't believe that this guy would have so many heaven immortal treasures. Therefore, Wang Mang couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. He had made the right bet. At the same time, many people in the square sneered and mocked him. "What's with the pretense? You can't take it out, but you're still bidding? Are you trying to make me laugh? This guy is done for. How dare he offend Elder Mo? He's done for. That's right. How dare he offend Elder Mo? Elder Mo has 3 celestial kings behind him. You're courting death. If we could bid, we would have done so long ago." The Lord of Sacrifice's expression turned even uglier when he heard the crowd's mocking and heated discussion. At the same time, the old man in the green robe on the square said coldly, "All right, I'll remember this." After that, the old man in the green robe looked at Wang Mang with a smile. "Fellow cultivator, 3 heavenly immortal grade materials. If you still need them, You can come up and trade with me." Hearing this, Wang Mang was overjoyed. He nodded calmly and said, "Okay." At the same time, Wang Mang hurriedly asked in his mind, "System, can I owe you? I need 3 heavenly immortal grade heavenly treasures." The next moment, the system's voice sounded in his mind. Warm reminder. He could do it. "Host, please lend me 3 heaven immortal treasures." Ding. Host must repay the 4 stocks of heavenly immortal grade heavenly treasures within a month, or 4 heavenly immortal experts, or 40,000 energy values. Reminder, if the host does not repay the loan on time, interest will increase. Ding. Is the host willing to lend the 3 heaven immortal treasures? After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang almost couldn't help but curse in his heart. This was too shady. But in the end, Wang Mang had no choice but to accept it, because now only the system could lend it to him. Thinking of this, Wang Mang secretly gritted his teeth and said, "Lend." The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding. 3 stocks of heavenly immortal grade heavenly treasures have been credited. Host, please check. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Then, under the gaze of many experts, Wang Mang didn't hesitate and jumped onto the square stage. At the same time, Wang Mang waved his hand, and 3 stocks of heavenly immortal grade heavenly treasures appeared in his hand. Seeing this, the old man nodded in satisfaction. After checking to make sure there was no problem, he waved his hand and accepted the 3 stocks of heavenly immortal grade heavenly treasures. Fellow cultivator, you could take number 11 away. She belongs to you now. You can play with her however you want. After saying that, the elder demon gave Wang Mang a smirk. Hearing this, Wang Mang suddenly felt embarrassed. He carried the cage and hurriedly left the stage. At the same time, he disappeared into the crowd of experts with his subordinates. Wang Mang finally opened the iron cage after they arrived at an alleyway with fewer people. Han Meng also slowly stood up. Her beautiful eyes were filled with a complicated expression. But when she saw Wang Mang take out the jade bamboo slip, Han Meng was even more surprised. She said, "You are my helper?" Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded slightly, then said indifferently, "Look at the mission in the jade bamboo slip." Hearing this, Han Meng nodded excitedly and took the jade bamboo slip. The next moment, Wang Mang saw a scene that surprised him. He saw the jade bamboo slip suddenly fly into Han Meng's snow-white forehead. Then, Han Meng slowly closed her beautiful eyes. After a long time, Wang Mang saw Han Meng open her beautiful eyes. She looked flustered and her face was red. She whispered, This mission is too strange." Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned. He couldn't help but ask, "What is the mission?" "Ah, see for yourself." Han Meng couldn't help but blush with embarrassment. As she spoke, the jade bamboo slip suddenly flew out of her forehead and hit Wang Mang's head. The next moment, the mission information appeared in his mind. Mission details: find a human powerhouse whose strength is not lower than the Earth's celestial stage. Make this powerhouse willing to have sex with a sow. Chapter 461. After reading the mission given by the creator, Wang Mang was stunned. Damn it, is this something a human should do? Why is there such a weird mission? To be honest, Wang Mang had done many missions with the help of the system, but he had only done one such weird mission. This mission was just to let people do a live stream of chopping. However, Wang Mang had never expected that the mission given by the creator would be even weirder. He didn't know that other people's missions were also so weird. This mission was not difficult, but it was not easy either. After all, it was an Earth celestial. Who would do such a thing with a pig for no reason? It was not harmful, but it was extremely insulting. He had only heard of one sentence, "What the F asterisk CK?" But he had never heard of it. What the F asterisk CK? He had learned something new today. No wonder it was so difficult for the other party to say it. This mission was simply too perverted. What should we do? How can we complete this mission? Sigh. I have never received such a mission from the creator. At this moment, Han Ming looked at Wang Mang with a red face, unable to take her eyes off him. She had placed all her hopes on Wang Mang. Wang Mang struggled for a while and couldn't help but mutter, "I'll do it. I'll find such a powerful person. As long as there are enough benefits, I think there will be powerful people willing to do this kind of thing." Hearing this, Han Meng was speechless. She could only rely on Wang Mang to complete the mission. As for Wang Mang, he turned to look at Shan Jun and ordered, "The few of you, go and find me a powerful person in the Earth Celestial stage. I want a powerful person who is willing to have sex with a sow. If the other party is willing, you can find him." After hearing Wang Mang's words, Shan Jun, Flying Hare Rat, and White Fox were all stunned. They looked at Wang Mang in disbelief and even thought that they had misheard. But when they saw that Wang Mang didn't seem to be joking, they finally nodded speechlessly. "Okay, let's split up. We found the target. Gather at the square from before." Shan Jun and the other two nodded and walked out of the alley to search for their target. At the same time, Wang Mang glanced at Han Meng and said softly, "Let's go. Let's look for it together." Han Meng nodded. Only then did she follow behind Wang Mang and walk out of the alley together. After walking out of the alley, Wang Mang and Han Meng began to search for the target. There were very few Earth Celestial Stage powerhouses. Wang Mang walked forward. Among the 10 powerhouses, only 2 or 3 of them were at the Earth Celestial Stage. There were even fewer human experts. As for why Wang Mang chose a human at the Earth Celestial Stage, naturally, the price he had to pay was much smaller. If he were to invite a human expert at the Sky Immortal level, he would be able to do it. Wang Mang simply could not afford to pay such a price. Moreover, the other party had to do it willingly. So, when they were searching for the target on the street, Wang Mang couldn't help but ask, "Later, we'll invite a powerhouse at the Earth Celestial Stage to help us complete the task. You'll pay the price." After hearing Wang Mang's words, Han Meng said bitterly, "Handsome, I don't have any treasure of heaven and earth. If I had any treasure of heaven and earth, I would have used it to enhance my strength. How could I have been caught?" Wang Mang's face darkened, and he said angrily, "In order to buy you, I spent 3 heaven celestial stage treasures of heaven and earth. Then, who will compensate for my loss? I can't pay for all of it." Han Meng said helplessly, "But I don't have any treasure of heaven and earth. What can I do? Moreover, the other members from the God Space are in a worse situation than you. Okay? Number 1 is also a member of the God Space. How much is her starting price?" After hearing Han Meng's words, Wang Meng didn't want to talk to her anymore. However, Wang Meng's sense of déjà vu grew even stronger. Thinking of this, just as he was about to ask, Han Meng suddenly turned her head and stared at him with her beautiful eyes. She asked with uncertainty, "Have you stayed in your province before?" Hearing this, Wang Meng's heart skipped a beat. He was very surprised. If he had only suspected it before, Wang Meng was now sure. This Han Meng was definitely his classmate when he was young. However, Wang Meng didn't admit it. He shook his head indifferently and said, "No, that's right. You're from the Demon Clan. You look like an old friend of mine." Han Meng nodded in disappointment and couldn't help but whisper to herself, "What AF asterisk king coincidence. He really met an old classmate." Wang Meng was also very emotional. Of course, that was all. Although he didn't know what kind of opportunity she had to become a member of the God Space. However, they were destined not to have much interaction. At this time, Wang Meng suddenly saw a lonely young man on the street. After seeing this young man, Wang Meng's eyes couldn't help but light up, because this young man's strength was very strong. He had reached the Earth Immortal stage, but judging from his aura, it was estimated that he had just broken through to the Earth Immortal stage. Thinking of this, Wang Meng immediately walked forward and asked enthusiastically, "Little brother, what's the matter?" Hearing this, the young man looked up at Wang Meng and said indifferently, "What does it have to do with you?" After saying that, the young man quickened his pace and ignored Wang Meng's thoughts. Seeing this, Wang Meng suddenly felt a little unwilling. Although this young man had also reached the Earth Immortal stage, But in Wang Mang's opinion, the young man was definitely easier to fool than the old man in the Earth Immortal stage of the same stage. Therefore, Wang Mang was willing to give this battle pig task to the young man. After quickly catching up to Wang Mang once again wore a smile on his face. You can tell me if there's anything. The young man laughed angrily. What's the use of telling you? Can you help me? You're just at the Earth Immortal stage. Hearing this, Wang Mang suddenly felt embarrassed, but he still said enthusiastically, I'm at the Earth Immortal stage, but I have Heaven Immortal stage subordinates. And I have more than one Heaven Immortal stage subordinate. How about it? Tell me about it. The young man, who had no interest in Wang Mang, was suddenly stunned. Then he said in surprise, You really have Heaven Immortal stage subordinates? Are you willing to help me? Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately nodded proudly. Of course. Tell me, what's the matter? After hesitating, the young man gritted his teeth and said, I want to kill a guy from the demon clan. Its strength has reached the Heaven Immortal stage. I want it dead, but I don't have the resources to invite a Heaven Immortal stage expert. Speaking of this, the young man's face was full of bitterness, and he looked at Wang Mang expectantly. Seeing this, Wang Mang suddenly felt happy. He knew that his chance had come. Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly smiled with a relaxed face. That's it? This is a piece of cake for me. I can help you, and I don't need your benefits. And I found that your aptitude is very good, and your bones are amazing. Young man, I really think highly of you. Chapter 462. Hearing Wang Mang's words, the boy was excited. His face was flushed red. And his gaze toward Wang Mang was filled with pleasant surprise. Ordinary people could not understand this feeling. It was as if he had found a soulmate. In the past, no one thought highly of him. Therefore, he ran away from home when he was young. In the end, when no one thought highly of him, he rose up in the face of adversity. From a tiny ant, he broke through to the Earth Immortal realm. Therefore, Wang Mang's praise resonated with the boy. The boy looked at Wang Mang excitedly and choked. Are you really willing to help me? Do you really think highly of me? Hearing this, Wang Mang smiled gently. Of course. I have a divination skill that can predict a person's future achievements from their face. I saw the face of many disasters on your face, but I also saw purple chi from the east between your eyebrows. I believe that you will overcome all the difficulties and become a dragon. If you can put down all your dignity and overcome all the difficulties, it will not be difficult for you to become a Stage 5 powerhouse in the future. Stage 5? I can become a Stage 5 powerhouse? The boy looked at Wang Mang in shock. As an Earth Immortal, Bei Mu knew how terrifying a Stage 5 powerhouse was. In addition, there were Stage 5 powerhouses in this world. However, every Stage 5 powerhouse was a top-notch powerhouse of a force. Wang Mang smiled and nodded. Of course. Do you think I will lie to you? But I don't want your benefits, but you have to do me a favor. How about it? As long as you are willing to do me a favor, I will help you take revenge. Hearing this, the young man, who was originally very agitated, immediately calmed down. He knew that there was no free lunch in this world, but Wang Mang's words made him grit his teeth. I knew it was not that simple. Big brother, tell me. Seeing this, Wang Mang did not hide anymore. He walked to the boy and whispered, As long as you are willing to have sex with a sow once, I will help you take revenge. How about it? It's easier for me to do this. After hearing Wang Mang's words, the young man's face instantly stiffened. For a moment, the young man's face turned green and red. This was because this matter was indeed simple. It wasn't very harmful, but it was extremely humiliating. Meanwhile, Han Meng, who had been following behind Wang Mang, felt even more embarrassed. She quickly distanced herself and waited at the side. As for Wang Mang, he looked at the youth who had fallen into hesitation and struggle. He could not help but say in disappointment, You've already made up your mind. If you can't even overcome this, how can you become a Type 5 divine warrior? Only through suffering can one rise to the top. If you wish to become a dragon or elephant, you must first be an ox or a horse. Any setback is the biggest test for you to become a strong person. After hearing Wang Mang's words, the Baimu youth's embarrassed and angry expression slowly calmed down. Then, as if he was possessed, the young man muttered to himself, "If you want to become a Buddha, you must first be an ox or a horse." In the next moment, the young man, Baimu, was enlightened. He looked at Wang Mang firmly and said, "I understand. Big brother, you're right. I promise you." When Han Meng saw this from afar, she looked as if she had seen a ghost. She really did not expect that the young man would actually agree after being tricked by Wang Mang. More importantly, the young man was tricked into doing it willingly. This was what she admired the most about Wang Mang. Wang Mang looked gratified. He smiled and patted Baimu's shoulder. "You're worth teaching. Let's find a place to start now. After you pass my test, I'll immediately gather my men to help you. This so-called union with a pig is just my test for you, because I don't want to see a destined strong person defeated by any difficulties." After hearing Wang Mang's words, Baimu calmed down and said, "Big brother, wait for me for a while. I'll go find a sow right now." Wang Mang could not help but be stunned. He said in astonishment, "You're going to do this in the city?" Hearing this, the young man, Baimu, smiled and said, "Big brother, this little difficulty is nothing to me. Let's do it in the city. Big brother, wait for me for a while. I'll go find a sow demon from the demonic bee cellar." After that, the young man dashed into the alley in the distance, leaving Wang Mang dumbfounded. What the hell? Did I trick him into becoming a cripple? Wang Mang could not help but mumble to himself. Less than half an hour later, Wang Mang saw a scene that shocked him. He saw that in the crowd in front of the street. The young man, Baimu, was wearing a white robe. He had one hand behind his back and the other holding a big iron cage. His steps were steady and his face was resolute. This scene was like an overlord lifting a cauldron. How majestic! In the iron cage that he held above his head with one hand, there was a big, white, and tender sow demon. He walked over step by step. This attracted the attention of the powerhouses on the street. They all made way for him. Rumble. There was a loud noise. Wang Mang saw the young man put the big iron cage on the street. Then, the young man opened the cage. Under the shocked gazes of countless powerhouses, the young man, Baimu, actually pulled the sow out of the iron cage and rolled up his pants. Then, in front of the crowd, he had done something that shocked everyone. This scene made Wang Mang dumbfounded. He really did not expect this young man to be so ruthless. Not only did he put down his dignity, but he also did not care about it at all. He actually did such an inhumane thing on the street. Even Wang Mang could not help but admire this young man. This young man was really ruthless. At the same time, many powerhouses passed by on the street. Seeing this strange scene, they could not help but discuss it. For a moment, countless powerhouses on the street were in an uproar. What the hell? Is this young man crazy? F***CK, he is awesome. Is this young man so thirsty? This young man is at the Earth celestial stage. How could he do such a ridiculous thing? I guess there is something wrong with his brain. He has lost his mind. This is the first time I have seen such a thing in my life. F***CK, I have heard of this before. But today I have really learned something new. However, in the face of these powerhouses' mockery and ridicule, the young man, Baimu, sneered in his heart. He did not feel ashamed at all. On the contrary, he did not care about it at all. He did not feel ashamed at all, because he, Baimu, had been enlightened. What was this mockery to him? What was this little setback to him? If you want to be a dragon or elephant, you must first be an ox or a horse. He, Baimu, was destined to be a super powerhouse. Chapter 463. Half an hour later, after the crowd had dispersed, under everyone's gaze, the young man slowly raised his head. He looked at the mocking, speechless, and shocked expressions of these people. He still looked calm as he had completely let go of his pride. It was because of his actions that he was willing to let go of his pride and dignity. In the near future, he would be able to achieve his goal of becoming a dragon and eventually become a stage 5 superpower house. This was something that Wang Mang had not expected. The young man that he had tricked would have a bright future. At this moment, the young man who had passed the test slowly walked up and said calmly, "Big brother, I have completed your test." Hearing this, Wang Mang suddenly felt guilty. Seeing that the young man was so serious, he even felt guilty. Did he really trick this young man into going crazy? It could be said that the young man's actions had indeed stunned Wang Mang. Thinking of this, Wang Mang said gently, "All right, wait for me. I'll gather my men and avenge you." After saying that, Wang Mang waved his hand and signaled Han Meng, who was blushing, to follow him. After that, Wang Mang arrived at the stage square. After waiting for more than an hour, he finally saw Shan Jun and the other two. When they saw the young man who had appeared out of nowhere, although Shan Jun and the rest were surprised, they did not ask much. "Let's go. We don't need to look for any more targets. We can leave the city." After saying that, Wang Mang led his men and the young man out of Wulong City. After leaving the city, Wang Mang looked at the young man beside him and asked, "Tell me, who is your opponent? Tell me, where's your nemesis? What's his name? How's his strength?" Hearing this, Bei Mu slowly explained, "Big brother, I'll bring you there. His strength should be around the level of a heaven immortal, similar to the aura of your men." Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded slightly. Then, under Bei Mu's lead, they arrived at a primitive mountain range. After entering the primitive mountain range, the aura of a heaven immortal demon was everywhere. Moreover, not long after Wang Mang and the rest went in, a powerful aura of a heaven immortal came from afar. When they looked up, they saw a black shadow sweeping over from the mountain range and stopped in front of them. This was a middle-aged man who looked very burly. However, Wang Mang knew that this was merely the appearance of the other party. "Who are you? Why did you come to my territory?" The burly demon's tone was very cold. After all, no one would be happy to have a group of uninvited guests in their territory. However, when he saw the young man in the crowd, he was surprised. "Brat, you were lucky enough to escape last time. How dare you come again?" But when he saw the burly man, Bai Mu, who was originally calm, became excited. "Big brother, that's him. He ate more than 10 of my brothers." Looking at the incomparably excited youth, Wang Mang immediately nodded. He then gestured to Shan Jun and the other two. "Go, kill this guy." After hearing Wang Mang's order, Shan Jun, the white fox, and the flying rat all rushed out and attacked the burly man. Seeing this, the burly man's face changed. He instantly transformed into his original form, a huge black dragon, and soared into the sky. Shan Jun did not show any weakness. He transformed into a colorful tiger, the white fox, and the flying rat also transformed into their original forms. In an instant, the 4 demons fought fiercely. However, although the black dragon was very powerful, it had not even reached the middle stage of the heaven immortal realm. How could it fight against the 3 of them? Therefore, as soon as the battle began, the black dragon quickly fell into a disadvantageous position and was besieged by Shan Jun and the other 2 demons. In a short while, the black dragon was besieged by Wang Mang's 3 demons and was severely injured. It roared angrily. "What do you want?" The black dragon, who had been suppressed the whole time, could not help but roar angrily. These guys had been suppressing him since the beginning. They did not even make a sound. This made him feel very aggrieved. There had to be a reason to beat him up, right? He didn't believe that young Bei Mu would be able to invite heavenly immortal experts, let alone 3 heavenly immortal experts. However, what he did not know was that young Bei Mu had invited these people to beat him up. After all, Wang Mang was a demon who was very particular about keeping his word. He also knew that unless the opponent was too strong, he would not break his promise. In the end, in just 3 hours, the black dragon let out a sorrowful roar and was finally killed by Shan Jun and the other 2 demons. However, they also suffered different degrees of injuries. After all, the black dragon was also in the heaven immortal realm. Although he could not fight against the 3 of them, he could not be underestimated. Therefore, it was natural that they would be injured. After the battle, young Bei Mu looked at Wang Mang excitedly and said in a low voice, big brother. Thank you." After that, young Beimu left. His footsteps were firm, as if he had completely untied the knot in his heart. Looking at the young man's departing figure, Wang Mang sighed and hoped that he could really become a super powerhouse. Besides, in Wang Mang's opinion, this guy's future achievements would not be too low. People who could put down all their dignity were the most terrifying. However, when Wang Mang saw Shan Jun and the other two demons preparing to eat, he turned pale with fright. These three subordinates were actually going to eat. This was the corpse of a heaven immortal realm demon. He could not bear to eat it and was going to use it to repay his debt, because he still owed the system 4 heaven immortal realm treasures of heaven and earth. If he did not return them as soon as possible and the system gave him compound interest, Wang Mang would probably cry to death. Therefore, Wang Mang quickly went forward and shouted, "Shut up! You're not allowed to eat it." Shan Jun and the other two demons who were about to divide the black dragon felt helpless. At this moment, White Fox could not help but say, "Master, you're too stingy. We're also injured badly from killing the enemy. What's wrong with eating a heaven immortal realm demon for nourishment?" After hearing White Fox's words, Wang Mang sighed and explained earnestly, "I'll definitely give you all of them in the future. Now, I have to gather 4 heaven immortal realm treasures of heaven and earth, or the corpse of a heaven immortal realm demon of the same level." After hearing Wang Mang's words, White Fox, Shan Jun, and Flying Hair Rat felt wronged, but there was nothing they could do. After all, Wang Mang was their master. Wang Mang kept the corpse of the heaven immortal realm black dragon in his storage space. At this moment, Han Ming also stepped forward and said with a serious face, "We've already completed the mission. Now, we need to gather at Tianju Mountain to complete the final mission." Wang Mang was stunned and could not help but ask, "Complete the final mission at Tianju Mountain? Is it that simple?" After hearing Wang Mang's words, Han Ming could not help but feel speechless. "Do you think this mission is simple? Although, I don't know how many powerhouses from Earth are here, but I can tell you that according to the ratio of 1 member in each god space, there will be 1 assistant to complete the mission. So far, hundreds of targets have died." Hearing this, Wang Mang was shocked. "Really? Why did so many of them die? Is their mission very difficult? Why do I feel that it's very simple?" Han Ming nodded helplessly and said, "This is just because we're lucky. The random mission we received is very simple. In this mission, some of them were unlucky. The mission required them to kill a stage 5 powerhouse. Now, do you know how desperate those who receive such a random mission are? They'll definitely die if they receive such a mission, a stage 5 powerhouse. Even in the myriad of worlds, they're considered big shots." Chapter 464. How is this possible? There's such a suicidal mission. We'll definitely die if we receive the mission. Killing a stage 5 powerhouse is too unrealistic. Is it so easy to kill a stage 5 powerhouse? Wang Mang looked at Han Ming in shock. He was shocked and in disbelief. At first, he thought the mission was simple, but after hearing what Han Ming said, Wang Mang was still in shock. If he was unlucky and received a mission to kill a stage 5 powerhouse, he wouldn't end up well either. Thinking of this, Wang Mang said with some emotion, "It seems that we're quite lucky." Han Ming's pretty face also smiled and nodded. "Not only are we lucky, but we're extremely lucky. We can set off for Tianju Mountain earlier now." Wang Mang shook his head and said, "Not now. My subordinate, Xiao Tianquan, hasn't arrived yet. Let's wait near the Wu City Gate now. When Xiao Tianquan arrives, we'll set off immediately." After hearing Wang Mang's words, Han Ming nodded helplessly. She even wondered if she was the one assisting Wang Mang, or if Wang Mang was the one assisting her. However, without Wang Mang, she really didn't dare to set off alone, because no matter where she went, she, who was not weak, would easily encounter danger. Moreover, after the experience of being captured and sold, Han Ming was also very careful. At this moment, when Wang Mang came to a forest near Wu City, Wang Mang immediately sensed that something was wrong, because there were several auras of celestial stage powerhouses nearby. At this moment, a teasing voice sounded. "You're quite cautious, but it's useless." Wang Mang raised his head and saw 8 heavenly celestial stage powerhouses walking out from 4 different directions in the forest. Among the 8 celestial stage powerhouses, there were humans, demons, and 2 bald monks, one fat and one thin. But when he felt the auras of these people, Wang Mang's heart sank, because these guys' auras were not weak. 5 of them should be at the early stage of celestial stage. The 2 monks had reached the middle stage of celestial stage. The last one was the strongest, an old man. This old man was dressed in a black robe. His face was thin and emaciated. His eyes were deep and gloomy, and his gaze was as sharp as an eagle's. His aura was a little strange. Wang Mang made a little judgment and guessed that the old man's strength had probably reached the advanced stage of the heaven celestial stage. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang's face turned ugly, and he asked in a deep voice, "Fellow Taoists, what is the meaning of this? We don't have any grudges, do we?" Hearing this, the fat monk smiled and said, "Of course it's for money. You should be able to sell them for a good price." At this moment, another man in the early stage of the heaven immortal stage laughed. "Fat Buddha, that's not all. I've been eyeing them since the auction stage in the plaza. These young demons are all rich and overbearing. He's probably a second-generation demon. Once I catch him, I'll ask the demon race behind him for resources. I reckon I'll be able to get a lot." Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned. What a guy. So I'm the second generation of a demon. F***CK. How come I didn't know about it? To tell the truth, Wang Mang did not expect this at all. Just because he auctioned something on the stage in the plaza, he was targeted? Moreover, they had even thought of his identity for him. Needless to say, even Wang Mang felt that it made sense. Of course, Wang Mang also knew that it would not be easy to leave today. There was no other reason. The weakest of the 8 heaven immortals was at the early stage of the heaven immortal stage. Wang Mang and his subordinates combined would not be able to defeat them. Therefore, Wang Mang decided to run after pondering for a while. Wang Mang believed that with his speed, it would be easy for him to escape. However, when he thought of his 3 subordinates, Wang Mang felt a headache coming on. His speed was much faster than a heaven immortal. However, the speed of his subordinates might not be the same. Did he really have to fight? Thinking of this, Wang Mang's heart sank. However, at this moment, Wang Mang seemed to have thought of something, and his eyes lit up. If he remembered correctly, he still had a mesmerizing incense. This thing was effective on all stage 3 powerhouses. Thinking of this, Wang Mang could not help but sneer secretly. Originally, he did not plan to use this thing. However, these fellows were too arrogant. They actually treated Wang Mang and the others as prey. This also made Wang Mang very angry. He had to teach these fellows a lesson. Be careful later. You must hold your breath. Remember, at this moment, Wang Mang transmitted his voice to his subordinates and Han Meng. Hearing this, both Shan Jun and Han Meng remained calm. However, it was obvious that they had heard Wang Mang's warning. At this moment, the 8 heaven immortal stage powerhouses walked over slowly from different directions with a sinister smile on their faces. They closed the encirclement. This also made Shan Jun, flying for a rat, and White Fox close in on Wang Mang. At the same time, Wang Mang suddenly shouted angrily, "Wait!" Hearing this, all the powerhouses were stunned, including Wang Mang's subordinates. The other 8 heaven immortal stage powerhouses also looked at Wang Mang coldly and sneered. "What? Kid, are you ready to be captured? It's useless. None of you can escape today. Kid, which human chick is it? Let's have some fun." Facing these guys' threats, Wang Mang did not care at all. His eyes were still indifferent. At the same time, something appeared in Wang Mang's hand. It was a round incense. This thing was none other than the mesmerizing incense that Wang Mang had stored for a long time. On top of that, Wang Mang used his magical power to make the mesmerizing incense burn, and thick green smoke floated out. Seeing this, many of the powerhouses' faces changed. The skinny old man's face was even more ferocious. But just as he was about to give the order to attack, he saw Wang Mang suddenly throw the mesmerizing incense in his hand into the sky and shouted, "A cloud-piercing arrow! Thousands of troops come to meet me." After hearing Wang Mang shout, the skinny old man's face changed drastically. He sneered angrily and said, "You want to send a signal? Dream on." Just as he finished speaking, the skinny old man raised his hand, and a terrifying giant palm of magical power blasted the mesmerizing incense thrown by Wang Mang into ashes. At the same time, the nearby forest in the sky was also covered by the green smoke. This was because the skinny old man's palm had directly destroyed the mesmerizing incense. Originally, it was just a cloud of green smoke, but now it was a cloud of green smoke that filled the sky. At the same time, Wang Mang also ordered his subordinates, "You guys enter the city first." Hearing this, Shan Jun, Han Meng, and the other two flew into the sky and ran towards Wulong City. At the same time, Wang Mang also flew into the sky. He stood proudly in the air and looked at the green smoke that was slowly dissipating. After a short while, when the green smoke dissipated, Wang Mang saw that there were some people whose faces were flushed red. The skinny old man's face was also flushed red. He looked at Wang Mang in shock and anger and roared, "Kid, what was that thing you used just now? Why do I feel like my whole body is itching and my heart is burning?" Chapter 465. At that moment, the skinny old man felt as if his entire body was on fire. In addition, he realized that his body temperature was starting to go out of control. Moreover, he felt that his head was getting heavier and his breathing was getting faster and faster. The other 7 heaven celestial elites were experiencing the same thing. Their situation was even worse than the skinny old man's. Seeing this, Wang Mang couldn't help but laugh proudly. "Of course it's good stuff. Enjoy it." After saying that, Wang Mang disappeared into the sky. Looking at Wang Mang's back, the skinny old man was furious. However, his flushed face made it hard for others to see clearly. Just as the skinny old man was about to suppress the evil fire burning in his body, a fat hand was placed on his old waist. When the skinny old man turned around, he saw a big round face approaching him for a kiss. This person was none other than the fat monk from before. At that moment, the fat monk's entire body was red, and even his breath was hot. He looked at the skinny old man with bright eyes, but his consciousness was very weak. Subconsciously, he reached out his hand to the skinny old man. "You're crazy. Fat monk, get out of my way." The skinny old man was about to push the fat monk away, trying to maintain his last bit of consciousness. But in the next moment, he also completely lost his consciousness. In the end, the two of them were together, and the scene was extremely crazy. Not only the fat monk and the skinny old man, but the other 6 elites also formed pairs and finally couldn't help but fight each other crazily. In an instant, a shocking scene took place in the vast forest. 8 heaven celestial elites actually did something that changed the world's view in the forest near Wulong City. At the same time, Wang Mang, who was hiding not far away, frowned. He wanted to take this opportunity to kill a few of them, but he was really frightened by the scene in front of him. These guys are really crazy. They have completely lost their minds. He was like a bull in heat. I can only kill them. If I control them, I can't control them at all. Wang Mang couldn't help but mumble to himself. If he could control them, he would like to. But if he could control them, he could only control an early-stage heaven celestial guy. Instead of that, he might as well think of a way to kill another 3 or 4 heavenly immortals to repay the debt. With that thought in mind, Wang Mang began to seize the opportunity to find a suitable target. This was because Wang Mang didn't know how long the ecstasy incense would last. Therefore, Wang Mang quickly decided on his target. This time, the targets were 1 demon and 1 human. At this moment, the 2 burly men were still entangled with each other. They had already entered a state of selflessness. It could be said that at this moment, these guys had basically lost most of their defenses. "I'll send you on your way." With a grin, Wang Mang transformed into his true form and slowly opened his bloody mouth. Wishful bone thrust. In the next moment, a long and sharp bone shot out from Wang Mang's mouth. Pucci. The compliance bone spur instantly pierced through the two heavenly immortal realm experts. It pierced through the two of them and nailed them to the ground. The aura of the two heavenly immortal realm experts who were entangled with each other began to dissipate slowly, and their vitality became dimmer. Similarly, when they were about to die, they regained their consciousness and looked at Wang Mang with resentment. "I will wait for you in hell. You will die a horrible death." In this regard, Wang Mang didn't care at all. His gaze fell on the rest of the experts. Because these two guys were definitely going to die. Wang Mang directly pierced through their chests where their hearts were. Soon, Wang Mang targeted the most powerful ones, the fat monk and the skinny old man. "All of you can die as well." With a sneer, Wang Mang opened his bloody mouth again and directly used his divine sense. Falling stars. A star-like energy light body whizzed out. Rumble. The fat monk and the skinny old man who were entangled with each other were instantly drowned by this terrifying divine sense. The next moment, a horrible shriek was heard. Then, Wang Mang was surprised to see that the skinny old man, who was charred and had lost an arm, was standing proudly in the air. Obviously, the skinny old man wasn't dead, but his condition was a little unstable. His aura was sometimes strong and sometimes weak. Seeing this, Wang Mang's heart sank. Although he had expected that he might not be able to kill an expert at the later stage of the heavenly immortal realm. But when he realized that he really couldn't kill an expert at the heavenly immortal realm, Wang Mang felt a little regretful. This guy's life was really tough. Moreover, Wang Mang also realized that although the old man didn't attack, his face was still red and he was looking at him coldly in the air. "It seems that I'm still not strong enough. I'm still not strong enough to kill this old man." Thinking of this, Wang Mang didn't hesitate anymore. He twisted his huge body and kept the corpses of the two experts at the heavenly immortal realm. Not only that, Wang Mang opened his bloody mouth again and used the wishful bone spur to completely end the fat monk who was seriously injured and dying. The wishful bone spur was as fast as lightning, and it completely penetrated the fat monk's chest. His originally ferocious face had completely lost its vitality. At a speed visible to the naked eye, the weakness in his body was dissipating. Seeing this, Wang Mang muttered to himself and also kept the fat monk in his storage space. Then, Wang Mang looked regretfully at the skinny old man in the sky, whose aura was sometimes strong and sometimes weak. The skinny old man's face was red and gloomy. He said in a cold voice, "Just you wait. I won't let you go." Unfortunately, in the face of the skinny old man's threat, Wang Mang didn't care at all. He sneered and said, "You can try. I have many ways to deal with you." After saying that, Wang Mang flew into the sky under the furious gaze of the skinny old man. After returning to Wulong City, Wang Mang and his subordinates waited for 5 days before Howling Celestial Dog and Dilly Reba arrived. After Xiao Tianquan left, Wang Mang led his men, Han Meng, and the rest out of Wulong City. This time, their new target was naturally the Pillar of Heaven's Mountains. However, not long after leaving Wulong City, Wang Mang really did meet the skinny old man again. Moreover, the skinny old man's team had once again become 9 people, blocking in front of Wang Mang. Seeing this, Wang Mang sneered and took out another ecstasy incense. He said playfully, "Do you want to try again?" After seeing the ecstasy incense, the skinny old man waved his hand and said in a gloomy voice, "Let them go." At the same time, the rest of the experts hurriedly made way for them with lingering fear. Obviously, they would never forget this thing. Seeing this, Wang Mang sneered. Under the furious gazes of the skinny old man and his men, he left arrogantly. 2 days later, in a barren, primitive mountain range, Wang Mang and his men, who were hurrying on their way, suddenly heard the sound of fighting in front of them. Wang Mang immediately waved his hand, and the group of experts immediately followed him down to the mountain range below. However, when he saw the experts from both sides fighting in the mountain range, Wang Mang almost couldn't help but laugh. This was because one of them was the Lord of Sacrifice, who had quite a conflict with Wang Mang. Chapter 466. At the same time, the Lord of Sacrifice was fighting with a middle-aged man from the human clan. When he saw Wang Mang, his face turned green. The Lord of Sacrifice did not expect himself to be so unlucky as to meet Wang Mang here. Not only that, when he saw Wang Mang's mighty team, the Lord of Sacrifice's heart sank. Without hesitation, he distanced himself from the Heaven Celestial Powerhouse. Fortunately, the Heaven Celestial Powerhouse did not intend to continue the fight, so they separated easily. When the Heaven Celestial Powerhouse saw Wang Mang's huge team, he did not hesitate at all and flew into the sky. Wang Mang did not ask his men to stop him. Instead, he looked at the Lord of Sacrifice with a playful gaze. To be honest, Wang Mang did not have much conflict with this guy. The biggest conflict was that they had a grudge in the past. Later on, this guy wanted to harm him and was defeated by Xiao Tianquan. Then, not long ago in Wulong City, he deliberately raised the price against him. If it was possible, Wang Mang would definitely not mind killing this fellow. Thinking of this, Wang Mang said coldly, "Enemies are bound to meet on a narrow road. Lord of Sacrifice, what do you think?" Looking at Wang Mang's murderous gaze, the Lord of Sacrifice's face turned gloomy. In fact, his hatred for Wang Mang was no less than Wang Mang's. The main reason was that not long ago, he was almost killed by the old demon's men. If he did not have a life-saving trump card to escape, he would have died. The Lord of Sacrifice sneered coldly. "Yes, what coincidence. You're so lucky. Now you have 4 heaven celestials protecting you at all times. Tell me, how afraid of death are you?" Wang Mang said indifferently. "Yes, of course I am afraid of death. Also, I can feel that you're full of killing intent towards me." At this point, Wang Mang grinned and said, "So it's better if I make the first move." After that, Wang Mang waved his hand and said indifferently, "Kill him." Hearing this, Xiao Tianquan, Lord Hushan, and the other 3 all charged towards Lord of Sacrifice. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang's expression became even more relaxed. He put his hands behind his back and watched with interest. He wanted to see what other tricks this guy had up his sleeves. Was it possible for him to fight 1 against 4? This was completely impossible. In a one-on-one situation, the Lord of Sacrifice couldn't even defeat his subordinates, let alone 1-on-4. Therefore, there was no need for Wang Mang to do anything. All right then. Actually, even if Wang Mang made a move, it would be useless. He was only at the medium stage of the Earth Celestial stage. It was too difficult for him to kill a Heaven Celestial. Unless it was a Celestial Immortal who had lost all resistance after using the soul enchanting incense. Otherwise, Wang Mang wouldn't be able to kill a Celestial Immortal Elite in a one-on-one fight. Moreover, Wang Mang had a rough idea of his own strength. He could fight a later stage Earth Celestial Elite, but it would be difficult. However, in the next moment, something unexpected happened to Wang Mang. The Lord of Sacrifice roared with a ferocious expression. "Wang Mang, from today onwards, you and I will fight to the death." As soon as he finished speaking, the Lord of Sacrifice turned into a 1,000-meter-tall tree. Not only that, but Lord of Sacrifice's body continued to expand, as if he was about to self-destruct. Seeing this, Wang Mang's subordinates, Xiao Tianquan and the rest, quickly retreated. Rumble. Then, Wang Mang saw the enormous body of the Lord of Sacrifice that had swelled to its limit explode with a loud bang. It turned into fragments that filled the sky and completely disappeared. Not only that, but Wang Mang also noticed that the Lord of Sacrifice's aura had disappeared. Seeing this, Wang Mang's face darkened. He was sure that the Lord of Sacrifice was not dead. This could be the Lord of Sacrifice's life-saving trump card. It was very strange, like self-destructing. "Master, this guy is probably not dead, but I can't sense his aura around. This should be some kind of superpower to escape, but it definitely has a lot of side effects." At this moment, Xiao Tianquan's subordinates came up and said with a serious expression. Hearing this, Wang Mang waved his hand and said, "Forget it. Let's go. The next time we see him, we'll just kill him. If he can't defeat us this time, he won't be a match for us in the future." After that, Wang Mang beckoned his subordinates, Han Ming and Diririba, and set off again. Another 3 days passed. Wang Mang and the rest arrived at the so-called Pillar of Heaven's Mountain. To Wang Mang's surprise, at this moment, there were many elites gathered at the Pillar of Heaven's Mountain. There should be about 30 of them. However, compared to the number of elites who entered the secret territory, it was too little. Among them, Wang Mang found that the most powerful old acquaintances were still there. This also proved that they did not die easily. Their luck was not bad. At this moment, Han Ming looked at Wang Mang with her beautiful eyes and thanked him sincerely. "Thank you. I've completed my mission." Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned and nodded slightly. Then, he looked at Diririba. This so-called Diririba was not a celebrity from Earth. She was just a beautiful woman. At this moment, this beautiful woman looked at Xiao Tianquan affectionately and said softly, "If there's a chance, I'll look for you." Hearing this, Xiao Tianquan's face turned red. He quickly lowered his head and said softly, "Forget about me. I'm just a dog." Diririba shook her head. Under Wang Mang's shocked gaze, she reached out and touched Xiao Tianquan's face, then kissed him. Then Diririba and Han Ming disappeared into thin air. Only Xiao Tianquan was still stiff and straight. His face was red, and he did not move at all. Damn, no way. She liked Xiao Tianquan? Wang Mang was in disbelief. The girl from before was pretty good looking. Even in Wang Mang's picky eyes, this girl was definitely a beauty. She was also a pure human. However, what Wang Mang did not know was that Xiao Tianquan's Diririba's mission was even more ridiculous. The two of them had to have physical intimacy. Moreover, when Xiao Tianquan found Diririba, she was in danger. Of course, Xiao Tianquan did not hesitate to step forward. In the end, the two of them were together. Just as Wang Mang was doubting his life and wondering why she liked Xiao Tianquan, a snow-white hand rested on his shoulder. Then, he felt a warm breath and a charming voice beside his ear. "Ah, Master, look, Xiao Tianquan is so happy." "Master, don't you want to try? White Fox will let you try for free." When he turned around and saw White Fox looking at him seductively, Wang Mang's face darkened, and he said, "You shy fox, are you shy again?" As he spoke, Wang Mang shook his shoulder and shook off White Fox's arm. Seeing this, White Fox suddenly snorted and straightened her proud chest. Her pretty face was full of dissatisfaction. More than once, she even suspected that Wang Mang was impotent. Otherwise, how could Wang Mang not feel anything when she was so beautiful? Could it be that he was like the monk who had no worldly desires? Just as she was muttering in her heart, an incomparably majestic voice sounded in the sky. Next is the last round of the game. Let me talk about the first prize. The winner of the first prize, I can't fulfill one of his wishes. The upper limit of this wish must be within the limits of my strength. Chapter 467. After hearing the Lord God's words, Wang Mang was completely shocked. Holy shit, making a wish. And the upper limit of the wish was so high. To be honest, Wang Mang felt that it was too unbelievable. After all, in Wang Mang's opinion, the Lord God's strength was, this guy was absolutely tyrannical and terrifying. Wang Mang didn't dare to imagine how terrifying he was. Therefore, even Wang Mang had to say that the reward for first place was very generous. At this moment, a voice sounded. "Lord God, will the first place's wish be fulfilled? Even if the first place wishes to become a stage 5 powerhouse?" Wang Mang looked sideways and realized that the person who spoke was the Lord of the 18 levels of hell. Similarly, many other powerhouses also quietly looked at the sky, waiting for the Lord God's answer. At this moment, the Lord God's dignified voice sounded in the sky again. "Yes." After hearing this, The crowd of powerhouses once again burst into an uproar and heated discussion. At this moment, another indifferent voice sounded. How do you resurrect a person? A person whose true soul has been extinguished. Hearing this, Wang Mang turned his head again. This time, the person who spoke surprised him. It was actually the cosmic god. Not only that, but the cosmic god's question made the Lord God in the sky silent for a long time before his voice sounded again, yes. After hearing the Lord God's words, even Wang Mang fell into silence. He had already quietly asked the system in his heart what true soul extinguished meant. This so-called true soul extinguished meant that one would completely turn into ashes. Moreover, true soul extinguished had another meaning, which was that a Daluo could not be saved. At this moment, the Lord God's dignified voice sounded again. Next, listen to the rules of the game. There are many pillars here. Each of you will find a pillar and stand on it. Every round, you will receive a jade slip from me. The jade slip contains the rewards and props obtained in each round. The first person to raise the stone pillar to a height of 1,000 meters will be first place, and so on. You are not allowed to attack each other on the pillars. You can only follow the rules of the game. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Mang saw that many people had started to choose their pillars. There were quite a number of these so-called pillars, but what was strange was that each pillar was only 3 meters tall, and they were separated by tens of meters. Seeing this, Wang Mang and Xiao Tianquan looked at each other and rushed toward the pillar not far away. In the next moment, Wang Mang landed firmly on one of the stone pillars. Not far away was Xiao Tianquan. Not only that, Wang Mang was surprised to find that more and more people were still rushing over. Moreover, these people were arriving one after another. Surprisingly, there were quite a few of them, and they managed to gather close to 20 people. Moreover, he didn't know if these people already knew the rules of the mission. Without hesitation, they chose a stone pillar and stood on it. In an instant, the number of people who were originally around 30 had increased to around 50. What made Wang Mang even more shocked was that he saw 2 old acquaintances who had also appeared here. These 2 old acquaintances were the Dog Emperor and the Black Bear Emperor. Well, these 2 guys were no longer in the Demon Emperor realm. They had also reached the Earth Immortal realm. This also made Wang Mang sigh. It seemed that as the top experts improved faster and faster, there were more and more experts behind them. In Wang Mang's opinion, this batch of people who could become Earth Immortals were at least former demon emperors of the demon clan. Otherwise, their strength would definitely not improve so quickly. The changes brought about by the cataclysm were simply too great. Brother Wang Mang. Just as Wang Mang was sighing, a voice suddenly sounded. Hearing this, Wang Mang looked sideways and saw a young man who looked like a dog. Moreover, this young man who looked like a dog had an aura that was not inferior to the Dog Emperor. Then there was no doubt about this guy's identity. Naturally, he was the Dog Emperor. You're in the second batch? How many people came in the second batch? Wang Mang thought for a moment and asked. The Dog Emperor was stunned for a moment, then nodded and said, Yes, I'm in the second batch. The number of people in the second batch is not small. There should be about 70 or 80 of them. Wang Mang nodded slightly, then was a little surprised. There were quite a lot of people in the second batch. Moreover, Wang Mang noticed that there were not many Demon Clan experts in the second batch. On the contrary, there were more Demon Fetus Clan experts. However, what made Wang Mang curious was, why did Demon Lord Chong Lu, who he had summoned before, not come? Perhaps it was because of the Lord God? In Wang Mang's opinion, it was most likely because of the Lord God. Because Demon Lord Chong Lu had reached the peak of stage 4. He would not take the risk to come to the Lord God's secret realm. Right at this moment, Wang Mang suddenly noticed a few thousand jade slips fluttering in the surroundings. Then, Wang Mang subconsciously reached out and grabbed a jade scroll that floated in front of his eyes. Jade scroll. Choose to make one person's stone pillar fall back to the original spot. Must be used in this round. Damn, this is my jade scroll. It can make one person fall back to the original spot. Thinking of this, Wang Mang looked at the other experts. Then, Wang Mang saw that many experts were excited, and the stone pillars under their feet rose by different degrees. Moreover, the tallest stone pillar was actually Yu Tian, who directly rose to a height of 100 meters. The second tallest stone pillar was the Lord of the 18 levels of hell, whose stone pillar was 60 meters tall. The third was Yu Shun, whose stone pillar was 55 meters tall. The fourth was the Dog Emperor, whose stone pillar was 50 meters tall. As for the rest of the experts, the stone pillars beneath their feet also rose by a few dozen meters, or even a few meters. It could be said that only Wang Mang and the two Demon Clan experts' stone pillars did not move. However, Wang Mang knew that these two fellows had definitely obtained items like him. As expected, Wang Mang saw that these two fellows actually chose to raise each other's stone pillars. Similarly, the stone pillars under their feet rose to a height of 50 meters and 60 meters respectively. For a moment, many experts' gazes gathered on Wang Mang. Obviously, there were also many smart experts who guessed that Wang Mang must have obtained items. Facing the gazes of the experts, Wang Mang did not care. Instead, he looked around the crowd. Of course, he was looking for items to make other stone pillars fall back to the original spot. Soon, Wang Mang saw the Lord of Sacrifice among the experts. Although this guy had changed his appearance, his aura could not fool Wang Mang. Moreover, after seeing Wang Mang, the Lord of Sacrifice was obviously a little flustered, but he pretended to be calm. After seeing the Lord of Sacrifice, Wang Mang could not help but laugh. This guy had increased his stone pillar by quite a bit. He actually raised it to a height of 38 meters. This bastard's luck is not bad. Thinking of this, Wang Mang secretly sneered and thought to himself, "Damn it, see if I don't beat you back to your original form." Chapter 468. With that thought in mind, Wang Mang said without hesitation, "Use it on the Lord of Sacrifice." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Mang saw that the 38-meter tall stone pillar under the Lord of Sacrifice's feet immediately fell back to its original position. Seeing this scene, the experts present were all astonished. They didn't expect there to be such a tool. However, once this tool was used, it would offend too many people. Therefore, many experts stared at the Lord of Sacrifice without moving an inch. As expected, at this moment, the Lord of Sacrifice's face was distorted and he looked at Wang Mang coldly. He gritted his teeth and said, "Very well." Seeing this scene, Wang Mang didn't care at all. He looked at him with contempt and said, "A stray dog dares to bark?" Hearing Wang Mang's contempt and mockery, the Lord of Sacrifice was so angry that his face turned green, but he didn't say anything. At this moment, hundreds and thousands of jade slips appeared in the sky again. The experts present came back to their senses and began to choose their jade slips. Because when they obtained the jade slips and used them earlier, the jade slips completely disappeared. Soon, many experts also chose their jade slips, including the Lord of Sacrifice. But when he saw his jade slip, the Lord of Sacrifice was so excited that he almost jumped up. Because the jade slip he obtained was the same as the one Wang Mang had obtained earlier. For a moment, the Lord of Sacrifice couldn't help but look at Wang Mang and smile hideously. Wang Mang naturally saw the Lord of Sacrifice's hideous smile, but he didn't care at all and chose a jade slip casually. Wang Mang opened the jade slip and was even more speechless. He didn't get the jade slip to upgrade the stone pillar again. He got a tool jade slip again. Jade slip. Make one person unable to get a jade slip in the next round. After looking at the experts around, Wang Mang felt very helpless. These people had improved a lot. Some of the stone pillars under their feet had even reached a height of over 100 meters. After seeing the Lord of Sacrifice looking at him with a sneer, Wang Mang read, "Use target, Lord of Sacrifice." At the same time, not far away, the Lord of Sacrifice was startled. He immediately realized that he had lost the chance to claim the Jade Scrolls in the next round. The Lord of Sacrifice, who had been smiling coldly, stiffened even more. This was because he did not expect Wang Mang to obtain another item. Not only that, but he also used a tool on him without hesitation. The question was, who should he use his item on? Just as Lord of Sacrifice's expression turned ugly, he saw the howling celestial dog. But when he saw that the stone pillar beneath the howling celestial dog's feet was only about 10 meters away, he was shocked. After a moment of hesitation, the Lord of Sacrifice directly used the item on the howling celestial hound. Howling celestial dog, who had been happy at first, immediately realized that the Lord of Sacrifice had used a tool on him. This was because the stone pillar beneath Xiao Tianquan's feet had returned to its original position. Naturally, it was furious. Mother asterisk cur, after this mission you're dead. In the face of the howling celestial dog's vicious threat, the Lord of Sacrifice sneered. The conflict between him and Wang Mang had deepened. Last time, after using the divine ability secret art, he almost dropped his cultivation level. If he had not killed a heavenly immortal powerhouse with great difficulty and stabilized his cultivation level would have dropped below the heavenly immortal level. At the same time, Wang Mang also knew that the tool used by the Lord of Sacrifice was probably similar to the one he used last time. Thinking of this, Wang Mang did not care. He was not afraid that the Lord of Sacrifice would use a tool on him. This was because he had used the jade slips twice in a row, but his stone pillar did not move at all. Of course, Wang Mang was more or less helpless. After all, he saw other people's stone pillars rise more than 100 meters. He was still in the same place. Wang Mang was, of course, envious of him, especially when he saw the highest Earth immortal powerhouse. Wang Mang was even more envious. This guy had soared to the top in an instant. Obviously, the stone pillar had risen a lot this time. At this moment, the third round of jade slips appeared again. Jade slips filled the sky and floated by. All the powerhouses present happily chose their jade slips. As for Wang Mang, it was the same. There was no special rule in choosing the jade slips. It was all based on luck. When he touched the jade slip again, the jade slip's information appeared before his eyes. Jade slip. Stone pillar rose 100 meters. Then, Wang Mang did not even have time to react. The stone pillar under his feet had already risen to 100 meters. This also attracted the attention of many powerhouses. Their eyes were filled with surprise, because until now, after the third round of jade slips, only 10 people had risen to 100 meters. However, Wang Mang had risen from the lowest stone pillar to the top 10. It was very eye-catching, especially the Lord of Sacrifice. When he saw that Wang Mang had risen to 100 meters, his eyes were filled with jealousy. However, he did not obtain the jade slip for the third round. He could only stare. At this moment, the jade slip for the fourth round appeared again. All the powerhouses began to choose their jade slips. Just as Wang Mang was about to choose, he suddenly saw a stone pillar begin to rise. Especially when he saw the cosmic god's stone pillar rise to 800 meters. Wang Mang could not help but feel his heart sink. But at this moment, Wang Mang saw that the cosmic god, which had already grown to 800 meters tall, had once again grown to 900 meters tall. Someone had definitely obtained a tool to help the cosmic gods rise. Wang Mang turned his head and looked at Yu Tian, who was still motionless under his feet. Wang Mang immediately guessed that it was very likely that Yu Tian had obtained a tool to help the cosmic god. Although he did not know what the relationship between the two was, Wang Mang's heart was abnormally anxious. Mother of asterisk her, someone had already raised the stone pillar to 900 meters. Only the last 100 meters left. Suddenly, Wang Mang saw that the Lord of Hell's stone pillar had also begun to rise. In an instant, it had risen to a height of 600 meters. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang's heart sank even more. At this moment, Wang Mang suddenly saw that the cosmic god's stone pillar, which was originally 900 meters tall, had suddenly fallen to 450 meters. Damn, not bad. It seemed that someone had made a move on the cosmic god. While speaking, Wang Mang looked at the surrounding powerhouses. Finally, His gaze fell on a devil fetus youth with half of his face covered in black lines. This devil fetus youth's aura was abnormally tyrannical, giving Wang Mang a feeling of palpitations. This aura wasn't the slightest bit inferior to the threat he felt from the late-stage, heavenly immortal realm. This guy must have obtained a great opportunity in the mystic realm. Just as Wang Mang was secretly shocked, a cold voice resounded throughout the pillar of heaven's mountains. "You actually dared to use a tool on me." The person who spoke was naturally Cosmic God. He looked indifferently at the youth with half of his face covered in black lines, his tone full of anger. Facing Cosmic God's threat, the youth with half of his face covered in black lines smiled lightly. "No need to threaten me. If you have the ability, you can kill me. My name is Ao Chongkong. I'm waiting for you to kill me at any time." Looking at the scene of the two confronting each other, Wang Mang did not care. Instead, he was gloating in his heart. He had really let the first place be taken away by someone else. Now that he saw the Cosmic God's stone pillar fall to more than 400 meters, he felt a lot more at ease. Wang Mang, who was in a good mood, casually picked up a jade slip floating in front of him. Chapter 469. Jade Scroll. The stone pillar has risen by 800 meters. After reading the contents of the Jade Scroll, Wang Mang was completely stunned. He did not expect that he would also receive such an opportunity to soar. In the next moment, while Wang Mang was still in shock, the stone pillar under his feet had instantly risen from 100 meters to 900 meters like a rocket. This was because Wang Mang's stone pillar had already risen to 100 meters. Now that it had risen by 800 meters, it was naturally 900 meters tall. Not only that, Wang Mang instantly became the tallest person on the stone pillar. He looked down and saw that there was no one around who was taller than his stone pillar. This made Wang Mang feel like he was flying into the clouds. This was simply too awesome. For a moment, Wang Mang was grinning from ear to ear. However, in the next moment, the stone pillar under Wang Mang's feet rose by another 10 meters, reaching 910 meters. Wang Mang immediately looked at the howling celestial dog. The howling celestial dog smiled and nodded at him. This also made Wang Mang realize that this 10 meters was due to the help of Xiao Tianquan's Jade Scroll. Wang Mang was indescribably happy. This was because the stone pillar under his feet was the closest to 1,000 meters tall. Originally, the tallest stone pillar was the Cosmic God, but this guy was targeted by Ao Chongkong. Now it was his turn to sit on it. However, at this moment, the stone pillar under Wang Mang's feet suddenly fell by a full 100 meters. In an instant, it fell from 910 meters to 810 meters. This immediately made Wang Mang shocked and angry, and he subconsciously looked at the Lord of Sacrifice. Similarly, the Lord of Sacrifice did not back down and sneered at him. Wang Mang's face darkened, but he did not say anything harsh. This guy already had a conflict with him, so there was no need for harsh words. However, just when Wang Mang thought that the 5th round of the Jade Scroll was about to be activated, the stone pillar under his feet fell by another 110 meters. In an instant, it fell from 810 meters to 700 meters. Wang Mang's expression did not look too good. He once again looked at the group of experts, and finally, his gaze landed on a demon. This demon was a man with a feminine face. His strength was at the medium stage of the Earth's celestial stage, which was similar to Wang Mang's strength. Apparently, he had gained a lot in the Mystery Land. Facing Wang Mang's cold gaze, the feminine-looking man shrugged innocently and said, "I can't help it. Who asked you to be the tallest?" After hearing that, Wang Mang was furious, but there was nothing he could do. This was because no one was allowed to attack each other on the stone pillars of Tianzhu Mountain. Moreover, his current stone pillar was the tallest, so he naturally attracted the most hatred, drawing the envy of others. The previous Cosmos God was like this, and Wang Mang was no exception. Fortunately, at this time, his stone pillar finally stabilized and did not continue to fall. Many of the experts present had more or less improved. Not long after, The jade slip also reached the fifth round. When the fifth round of jade slips appeared, many experts appeared somewhat hesitant, because they didn't know which jade slip was better and which jade slip was inferior. In the end, the choice was entirely based on luck. Wang Mang was also a little nervous. Looking at the jade slips floating in front of him, he finally grabbed one in his hand. The next moment, the information on the jade slip also appeared in his mind. Jade slip. Knock one of the target stone pillars back to the original place. It must be used in this round. After seeing this jade slip, Wang Mang was somewhat helpless. He would rather directly obtain a few hundred meters, or rather, directly let him reach the sky in one step and win first place. Just as Wang Mang was struggling to find someone to use it on, the stone pillar under Wang Mang's feet instantly fell from 700 meters to 200 meters. After coming back to his senses, Wang Mang directly shouted in exasperation, "Which son of a b***** is it? Come out!" After that, Wang Mang looked around angrily. The familiar voice of the cosmos god sounded, "It's me." Hearing this, Wang Mang suddenly raised his head and looked at the cosmos god, only to find that this guy was looking at him indifferently and calmly. Seeing the indifferent expression of the cosmos god, Wang Mang was so angry that he laughed. "You're King great. I didn't do anything to you, but you King bit me." Then Wang Mang said indifferently, "Use target cosmos god." As soon as his voice fell, the original 450 meters tall stone pillar of the cosmos god instantly fell to the initial 3 meters. At the same time, the originally indifferent cosmos god's face became extremely ugly. Because originally, Wang Mang's stone pillar was taller than him. Therefore, after hitting Wang Mang, his stone pillar was naturally the first. But what he never expected was that Wang Mang's item would directly knock him back to the original place. It was no weaker than the item he had obtained, because the item obtained by the cosmos god directly cut Wang Mang's 500 meters tall stone pillar in half. But Wang Mang also directly cut his more than 400 meters tall stone pillar in half. Originally, both sides were first and second. As a result, Wang Mang was directly thrown out of the top 10. Similarly, the cosmos god was directly beaten back to his original size by Wang Mang. Wang Mang looked down at the cosmos god, and seeing the other party's face full of killing intent, he immediately sneered. "You King stupid dog. Instead of biting Ao Chong Kong, you can't bite me. Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Facing Wang Mang's ridicule and abuse, the cosmos god remained expressionless, but the killing intent in his eyes was particularly strong. In this regard, Wang Mang was not afraid of the other party at all. He really couldn't understand whether this guy's head was bitten by a dog. Damn it. Ao Chong Kong targeted him, but he didn't take revenge and targeted him instead. It was the first time he had seen such a weirdo. The two of them had never dealt with each other before, but now there was no doubt that they had formed a grudge. But Wang Mang was not the kind of ant that could be bullied by others. Now, he had 4 heavenly immortal realm experts as his subordinates. So what if the cosmos god had reached the peak of the heavenly immortal realm? Would Wang Mang be afraid of him? Obviously it wouldn't. As for the enmity, he would think about it later. This was what Wang Mang thought in his heart. At this time, the 6th round of jade slips appeared in the sky. The jade slips floating in the sky were like butterflies. They floated in the air beside many experts. Many experts began to choose one after another. Then, Wang Mang saw that the stone pillars under the feet of many experts began to rise. There were more than 20 or 30 stone pillars that reached hundreds of meters, almost half of them. At the same time, Wang Mang also saw that the cosmos god had chosen a new jade slip again. After that, the stone pillar under this guy's feet once again rose from the ground, instantly growing to 200 meters tall, the same height as Wang Mang. Not only that, but the cosmos god also looked at him coldly, obviously knowing that Wang Mang had not chosen a new jade slip. But at this time, the stone pillar under Wang Mang's feet rose again by 100 meters. This suddenly made Wang Mang a little confused, and he looked at Xiao Tianquan. Xiao Tianquan shook his head at Wang Mang, and then Wang Mang looked at the Dog Emperor. He saw that the 300-meter-tall Dog Emperor under his feet nodded slightly at Wang Mang. Obviously, the Dog Emperor had obtained a tool, so he helped him. Wang Mang smiled and nodded slightly at the Dog Emperor. This guy was very helpful. Then Wang Mang glanced at the experts around and found that some of the stone pillars under their feet rose again. Of course, there were also some experts who were targeted by their opponents, and the stone pillars under their feet fell a lot. It could be said that after every round of jade slips, the stone pillars under someone's feet rose, or the stone pillars under their feet fell. When he saw that many people had used up their jade slips, Wang Mang also casually caught a jade slip that floated by. The information on the jade slip immediately appeared in his mind. Jade slip. The stone pillars rose by 600 meters this round. Chapter 470. The next moment, Wang Mang's stone pillar, which was already 300 meters tall, rose again to 900 meters. He was still able to look down the mountain. This scene caused the eyes of many experts to turn red. They really couldn't understand why Wang Mang's luck was so good. Wang Mang had already fallen to 200 or 300 meters. In the end, he rushed up again in this round. After regaining his senses, Wang Mang was also a little confused. He didn't expect himself to rush up again. This time, the jade slip caught another jade slip that could make him rise by a few hundred meters. Moreover, as long as he was lucky enough to get a good jade slip in the next round, then he would be able to get first place, because as long as the stone pillar he got in the next round rose more than 100 meters, he would be able to win first place. Even Wang Mang couldn't help but feel excited. After calming down for a long time, Wang Mang realized that many powerhouses on the stone pillars were looking at him coldly. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang naturally knew that he had become the center of attention again, and also the target of hatred. However, this was something that couldn't be helped. Wang Mang knew that if he wanted to get first place, he had to face it. Therefore, facing these cold-looking guys, Wang Mang's face was also cold. At the same time, the sky was filled with jade slips again. Obviously, a new round of jade slips had begun. This time, Wang Mang didn't hesitate. He wanted to reach a height of 1,000 meters in the shortest time possible. In this way, he would be able to get first place. However, before Wang Mang could reach out to grab the jade slip, the stone pillar under his feet fell again. From the original 900 meters to 600 meters, then from 600 meters to 500 meters. Then, the stone pillar under his feet fell from 500 meters to 300 meters. This obviously meant that at least 3 guys had obtained items and used them on him. Which bastards? Wang Mang cursed with an ugly expression. I'm your grandpa. A.O. Changkong sneered. His eyes were playful as he crossed his arms in front of his chest. Me, Yu Tian said with a calm expression. Me too. Lord of Sacrifice also had a mocking look on his face. Wang Mang's expression turned ugly when he saw the 3 of them admit it. In the end, he suppressed the urge to curse out loud. After that, Wang Mang casually grabbed a jade slip. The information on the jade slip appeared in his mind. This round, the stone pillars will rise by 200 meters. After that, Wang Mang's stone pillar, which was originally 300 meters tall, expanded to 500 meters. However, Wang Mang's heart was bleeding, because if no one targeted him in this round, he would definitely lose. Then, without a doubt, the first place would be his. But in the end, he was targeted by these 3 fellows. Moreover, there were already a lot of 500-meter tall stone pillars. At a glance, there were 20 to 30 of them. If one of them was lucky in the next round, the winner would be decided. Moreover, because there were too many 500-meter tall stone pillars, it was not easy to target them. That was because the stone pillars without water had yet to reach 900 meters, not even 600 meters. The stone pillars under the feet of the 20 to 30 powerhouses were all more than 500 meters tall. In Wang Mang's opinion, if there were no accidents, the winner would be decided immediately. At this moment, the jade slips that filled the sky once again fell from the sky. In the next moment, countless powerhouses began to actively grab the jade slips, because they also knew that if they were lucky this time, they would be able to lock in the first place. After all, everyone saw that Wang Mang had obtained jade slips that increased his stone pillars by 600 meters twice. The universe god had also obtained jade slips that increased his stone pillars by 600 to 700 meters once. This meant that if anyone was lucky enough to obtain it, they would be the winner directly. No one would even have time to target them. In the next moment, Wang Mang also quickly grabbed one of the jade slips. Then, the information on the jade slip also appeared in Wang Mang's mind. Jade slip. This round, the stone pillars will rise by 400 meters. After seeing the information, Wang Mang suddenly felt a little helpless. In this way, he would be targeted again. If things went wrong, he might fall again in this round. Just as Wang Mang was feeling helpless, the stone pillar under his feet had already risen to a height of 900 meters. Not only that, but what surprised Wang Mang was that no one targeted him after waiting for a long time. Moreover, there were more than 30 people whose stone pillars had all reached 900 meters. The stone pillars of the other powerhouses had all risen. None of them had fallen. What was going on? Seeing this scene, Wang Mang was a little puzzled. Similarly, Wang Mang was not the only one puzzled. The other powerhouses were also puzzled. That was because no one had obtained an item that could make the target fall in this round. There's no item that could make others fall. I'm not sure. It seems that all the stone pillars have risen in this round. Even if they didn't rise, no one fell. Interesting. I guess there won't be an item that could make people fall. I've obtained an item that could help others rise. After hearing the discussions of many powerhouses, Wang Mang knew that his guess was right. This meant that the next round would definitely determine the winner of the first round. That was because there was no item that could make people fall. Similarly, many powerhouses seemed to have thought that the winner would be in the next round. Therefore, for a moment, the stone pillar mountain became quiet. Many powerhouses even looked nervous. Among them, those that had risen to 900 meters on the stone pillars were Wang Mang's old rivals, as well as old friends that Wang Mang was familiar with. Shaking Bear, Dog Emperor, Howling Celestial Dog. Just as all the powerhouses' hearts were heavy and their faces were solemn, the sky was once again filled with jade slips. Many powerhouses could not wait to grab the jade slips around them. Similarly, Wang Mang was no exception. That was because this round would determine who would be the first one to take the first place. In the next moment, Wang Mang took out the jade slips. The information on the jade slips immediately appeared in his mind. Jade slips. This time, the stone pillars will rise by 100 meters. When he saw the information on the jade slips, Wang Mang was completely ecstatic. But just as Wang Mang was rejoicing, suddenly, several exclamations were heard. Look, that guy's pillar is lit up. F*CK. That guy is probably in the first place. Not necessarily. There are a total of 3 pillars that are lit up. Who is in the first place? I see 3 stone pillars rising at the same time. Damn it, I'm just one step slower. I've risen to 1,000 meters. Why didn't my pillar light up? Stop complaining. I'm now at 999 meters. I'm the first one to get the jade slips. I want to kill someone now. At the same time, at this moment, Wang Mang, who had risen to 1,000 meters on the stone pillar, he was also very nervous, because it was not only his pillar that had risen to 1,000 meters. Including him, 5 other people's pillars had risen to 1,000 meters. Among these 5 people, including him, 3 other people's stone pillars had lit up with golden light. Therefore, Wang Mang was not sure who would be in the first place. Chapter 471. In fact, Wang Mang wasn't the only one who was nervous. The other 2 who were standing on the 1,000-meter-tall stone pillars were also extremely nervous. This was because they didn't know who was going to be first. The 3 of them lit up their stone pillars almost at the same time. Among the other 2, one of them was the Dog Bear Emperor that Wang Mang never expected. Yes, the dog-bear emperor who was as lucky as Wang Mang. The other one was Yu Tian. Among them, the dog-bear emperor was the most nervous. He didn't expect that he would light up his stone pillar. He was from the second batch of people who entered the secret realm, and his strength was at the level of an earth immortal. Originally, he didn't think that he would have a chance. Most of the second batch of earth immortals who entered the secret realm with him had died tragically in the secret realm. He had also obtained some opportunities in the secret realm, and his strength had increased a lot, but he never thought that he could compete for the top 3. How was this a competition for the top 3? It was simply a competition for the top 3. Therefore, the dog-bear emperor was very excited. He had already seen his opportunity to rise. Was he really going to soar into the sky? As for the other person, the 1,000-meter-tall stone pillar lit up under Yu Tian's feet. He looked very calm, but there was still some surprise on his face. This was because he didn't expect that he would be the one who lit up the pillar after helping his brother. He certainly wanted to be first, but it wasn't for himself. At that moment, many of the experts present had ugly expressions on their faces, especially the Lord of Sacrifice, who had a grudge against Wang Mang, and the young Mageweth, Ao Changkong, who had previously offended Wang Mang. Even the Cosmos God was the same. Without exception, their expressions were gloomy and ugly. After all, the person who didn't get along with them had become the most likely person among the 3. If it were anyone else, they wouldn't be too happy. In particular, if Wang Mang's strength skyrocketed, it wouldn't be good for them. At this moment, a majestic voice came from the sky. There are prizes for the 1st to the 5th place. As for the 1st place winner, Wang Mang, as soon as he finished speaking, there was an uproar. Many experts could no longer sit still. But just as they were looking at Wang Mang with envy, a beam of light shot out from the sky and enveloped Wang Mang. After that, Wang Mang disappeared completely, leaving behind a group of experts who were engaged in heated discussions. They really wanted to know what kind of wish Wang Mang would make. Soar to the sky, or what? In the eyes of many experts, without any conditions, it was more cost-effective than soaring to the sky. At the same time, at this moment, Wang Mang had arrived in a special space. This space gave off a sense of technology. There was no end in sight. It was as if this space was extremely deep, as if there was no end to it. If one were to look at it, it would make one feel even more despair than the sea. The F***CK. Where am I? For a moment, Wang Mang looked around blankly. At this moment, a blue ball of light the size of a basketball appeared in front of him. Then, Wang Mang saw a blurry face condense on the blue ball of light. At the same time, a majestic voice sounded. I can sense the aura of an expert on you. Someone has been helping you silently, lucky little guy. After hearing this voice, Wang Mang felt his hair stand on end. He did not expect this so-called master god to be so powerful that he could sense the system on him. Don't be so nervous. I won't suspect you. Your aura feels familiar. If I'm not wrong, I should have interacted with him before. We should have a good relationship. Tell me, what's your wish? After hearing the master god's words, Wang Mang's understanding of the master god increased by another terrifying level. This guy was definitely not simple. Wang Mang knew very well who the master god was talking about. It should be the owner of the manufacturing system. But this guy had interacted with the owner of the system before. This guy was definitely ridiculously powerful. In fact, Wang Mang's fear of the master god's power made Wang Mang forget what the master god said. Little guy, tell me your wish. The majestic voice sounded again, making Wang Mang come back to his senses. He looked at the blue ball of light in front of him respectfully and asked carefully, "Can you make me a rank 5 expert directly? Or make me as strong as you? It would be best if I could soar into the sky." Obviously, Wang Mang could not resist the temptation and wanted to soar into the sky. So, Wang Mang wanted to ask before making a decision. The blue ball of light chuckled. "Yes, but I'm rank 5 now, because I'm not the real me. Becoming as strong as me has already surpassed the upper limit of my strength. But I can raise you to rank 5. But I have to warn you, there will be side effects if I raise you to rank 5. The side effects are very big. It might even cause the door to your rank 6 to be completely closed. There's not a single possibility, because to reach rank 5, you need to send your true spirit into the 6 Tao rivers: space, time, life, cause, and effect, Tao, and heaven. If you forcefully raise it to rank 5, I can help you send your true spirit into the 6 Tao rivers. But you won't be able to find it. Even if the existence that helps you personally acts, they won't be able to find it. So, you have to consider it carefully. The result of a jump is that you'll be stuck at rank 5 forever. Rank 5 powerhouses. No one can spoil your growth without repercussions. After listening to the Master God's serious consequences, Wang Meng fell into a dilemma. Forever stuck at rank 5. If he had to pay such a price, Wang Meng would definitely not be willing. After all, Wang Meng knew that there were a total of 9 ranks among the powerhouses in the myriad worlds. Once you reach rank 5, you'll never be able to raise it. Such a drawback made Wang Meng fall into silence. If he could not raise it to rank 5, what should he wish for? For a moment, Wang Meng also began to feel troubled. In the end, Wang Meng asked somewhat unwillingly, "Then, if you raise me to the peak of rank 4, there shouldn't be any effect, right?" The blue light sphere once again transmitted a dignified voice. Rank 4 requires you to send your true spirit into the 2 great rivers, the river of heaven and the river of space. Rank 5 requires you to send your true spirit into the 3 great rivers: time, cause and effect, and life. Rank 6 requires you to send your true spirit into the river of Tao. As for rank 7 and 8, I can't remember how long it's been since someone reached them. Only one person is suspected to have reached rank 9. Whether rank 9 really exists or not, I don't know. There's also a great controversy in the myriad worlds. Chapter 472. That's right. Does stage 9 exist or not? If it does, why don't I have any clue? Towards the end, the Lord God seemed to be asking Wang Meng, but also seemed to be asking himself. As for Wang Meng, he was already dumbfounded. He didn't expect that stage 4 was about to start, and that he had to insert his true spirit into the 6 great rivers. To be honest, Wang Meng didn't even know what the 6 great rivers were. However, Wang Meng understood the meaning behind his words. Similarly, if he had to insert his true spirit, then there would be drawbacks and effects. Thinking of this, Wang Meng was even more conflicted. F***CK. It seemed like the idea of using violence to increase his strength wasn't too realistic. All right, this was Wang Meng's initial thought. But after hearing the latter part of the conversation, Wang Meng could roughly guess how terrifying this so-called Lord God was. Even Wang Meng was so shocked that his eyes almost popped out. This Lord God had reached stage 8? In other words, this guy was almost at the peak of his cultivation. I'm F***king negotiating with a big shot who had reached the peak of his cultivation? This was Wang Meng's thought. It was simply too shocking. This completely overturned Wang Meng's understanding, because the strongest person Wang Meng had ever seen was only at the peak of stage 4, which was Demon Lord Chong Lu. But what level had this Lord God reached? Stage 8. Bajia. He had definitely reached the pinnacle of the world. Thinking of this, Wang Meng's heart trembled. He couldn't help but become even more restrained. It couldn't be helped. This was a real big shot. Wang Meng even suspected that the owner of the system on him couldn't win against this big shot. After hesitating for a long time, Wang Meng had already made up his mind. Since stage 4 was also affected, there shouldn't be any problems with me reaching the peak of stage 3, right? Thinking of this, Wang Meng said carefully, "Can you help me reach the peak of stage 3? This is your wish?" The majestic voice sounded again. "Yes, there shouldn't be any side effects, right?" Wang Meng asked cautiously. "No, you can." The dignified voice did not hesitate at all. As soon as he finished speaking, the light from the basketball shot toward Wang Meng in a violent beam of light. In the next instant, Wang Meng let out a miserable shriek of pain. He completely lost consciousness and was enveloped by the light. That was because the beam of light was simply too powerful. This was like an endless amount of power. In an instant, he rushed into a small pond. This power was so enormous that it exceeded Wang Mang's imagination. When he fell into a coma, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. A large amount of energy has been detected to be injected into the body. The system has begun to make an independent judgment and automatically receive excess energy. Ding! Warm reminder to the host. After this evolution, the information has changed. Please check it yourself. After a long time, the light energy that seemed to be charging disappeared. After half a month, Wang Mang slowly regained consciousness. However, after regaining consciousness, Wang Mang felt that his body was very strange. Why did he say that? The terrifying power floating out of his body was not under his control at all. He couldn't even restrain the terrifying dermic powers in his body. Not only that, Wang Mang also realized that his body had changed a lot. Even Wang Mang himself did not know how big the change was. However, Wang Mang now encountered a problem. It was that he seemed to be unable to adapt to this enormous power and powerful body. He could feel that his current body was countless times more terrifying than before. Is this already over? My current strength has already reached the peak of stage 3? Then what is my current template? For a moment, Wang Mang muttered in his heart, full of doubts. That was because he knew that he wanted to go from the Earth's celestial stage to the heaven celestial stage, and then to the peak of the heaven celestial stage. He did not know how many evolutions he had to go through to achieve that, because he did not calculate it himself. After all, from the middle stage of the Earth celestial stage to the peak of the heaven celestial stage. This was the first time in history that Wang Mang's strength had soared by an exaggerated amount. It was so exaggerated that he did not even know the specific situation of his body. At the same time, Wang Mang had not completely mastered the enormous power he had now. At this moment, the majestic voice sounded again. You are now at the peak of stage 3. I will also give you an identity, a special member of the creator space. You are not restricted by the rules of the creator space. As soon as the voice fell, another strange mark blasted into Wang Mang's forehead. After that, before Wang Mang could figure out what it was, he only felt his vision go black. In the blink of an eye, Wang Mang found that he had appeared near the Fu province dock. Is this the method of a powerhouse? After muttering a few times, Wang Mang quickly left. As for his subordinates, Wang Mang was not worried at all. After the reward distribution in the secret realm ended, Xiao Tianquan and the others would naturally return. Therefore, he now had to master his current strength and completely adapt to his current power. Only then would he be a true peak stage 3 powerhouse. At the same time, he also wanted to understand his own condition and the changes. 10 minutes later, Wang Mang found a lonely island in the vast sea. As for why he was so fast, it was naturally because his speed had increased. Because Wang Mang was shocked to find that his current speed was too fast. The past and the present were two completely different things. They cannot be compared at all. After arriving at the island, Wang Mang found a place to hide. After that, he could not wait to say in his heart, "System, open my personal information." The next moment, his personal information appeared before his eyes. But when he saw the huge change in his personal information page, Wang Mang was completely stunned. His face was full of astonishment and shock. Wang Mang, God of the 5 mountains, special member of the creator space. Type: Celestial Python, royal family of the celestial pythons. Cultivation: 1950, peak of the celestial stage. Body: 2900 HP, 2900 energy, 500 meters long, 25 meters wide, 2 million tons weight. Divine powers: God controlling seal, broken body rebirth, death's eye, devouring black hole, star destruction, heaven and earth escape, wishful bone spur, thunder spell, one step in heaven, myriad changes. Space: information detection, celestial tablet X1, divine powers lucky draw ticket X1, one-time mission free horror card, supreme blind box X2, diamond treasure chest X1, space shift talisman X1. Luck: 299, flood of fortune. Energy, 500/50,000. Current ranking, world's powerhouse ranking 3rd. Chapter 473. Is this my current strength? My body length didn't increase enough. If I evolve normally, my body length should increase to an even more exaggerated level. In addition, my energy value isn't right either. It's probably because my energy value needs to increase after I reach the celestial immortal realm. After muttering to himself for a while, Wang Mang finally accepted the huge change this time. It could be said that the change this time was huge, but the degree of change seemed to be adjusted by the system. Wang Mang wasn't surprised by this, because most of the time, the system would adjust itself. When he lost consciousness, the system would automatically adjust for him. After sighing for a while, Wang Mang calmed down, but he couldn't hide the pride in his heart. The harvest of the secret realm this time was beyond his imagination. It was so big that it could allow him to advance by a whole realm. So if Wang Mang wasn't arrogant, it was obviously a lie. Moreover, Wang Mang knew that his strength was definitely not just the 3rd in the world's powerhouse ranking. He might not be qualified to be the 1st, but who was the 2nd cosmos god? How could he be worthy of him? They were both at the peak of the celestial immortal realm. Would Wang Mang be afraid of him? This was obviously impossible. However, Wang Mang still had to adapt to his own strength first. Thinking of this, Wang Mang began to gradually adapt to control his current strength on this island. It took Wang Mang half a month to completely adapt to his current strength. In short, he was strong by a lot. He could casually cast a divine ability, and he could already move mountains and fill seas. All right, moving mountains could be done, but filling seas was indeed a bit exaggerated. But this also indirectly told everyone that Wang Mang's strength was already very strong. It wouldn't take much effort to destroy a city or even a province. It's about time. Now, I can be considered to have complete control of the vast magic power in my body. Wang Mang secretly nodded with satisfaction, then left the island and began to fly towards Guizhou province. At the same time, Wang Mang was also guessing the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. What kind of rewards did these guys get? Thinking of this, Wang Mang's heart sank. This was because the reward from a Lord God would definitely not be simple. This also proved a problem. The other 4 fellows who had received the Lord God's reward would probably soar into the sky as well. Of course, Wang Mang didn't know what kind of rewards these guys received. However, this did not rule out the possibility that Wang Mang had some thoughts about these guys. Why don't we keep watch? These guys will definitely appear at Fu Province's docks. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was even more tempted. In the end, Wang Mang did not say another word and began to turn back to the Fu Province dock. Obviously, Wang Mang wanted to take advantage of the situation. This was because he had no idea what kind of reward the other sovereigns had given him. Even if he couldn't snatch it, he still had to figure out a problem, which was the approximate reward that these guys had received. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Detected the host's current situation. The host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission 1. Ignore the other people who have obtained the Lord God's treasure. Mission time, available upon selection. Mission reward, 500 energy points. Mission 2. Snatch the Lord God's treasure from the other people who have obtained it. Mission time, available upon completion. Mission reward, 1,000 energy points. Supreme Grade Blind Box, X1. Mission 3. Snatch the Lord God's treasure from the other people who have obtained it. Mission time, available upon completion. Mission reward, 4,500 energy points. Immortal Grade Blind Box, X1. After looking at the 3 missions, Wang Mang was stunned for a moment. Then he was a little dissatisfied. Damn it, his current strength was at the peak of heavenly celestial. Snatching something was a small KS to him, wasn't it? At least snatching a few more things. The reward would be more. This little amount of energy points was not even enough to send a beggar away. Of course, there was nothing left. Thinking of this, He made his choice almost without hesitation. System. I choose Mission 3. The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully chosen the mission. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to receive the reward. Ding. Warm reminder. As the host's strength has skyrocketed, the energy points obtained after devouring by heavenly celestials have changed. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang secretly nodded with satisfaction. However, the following prompt made Wang Mang a little confused. What do you mean? Wang Mang could not help but ask in his heart. The system's voice sounded again. The host's strength has reached the peak of heavenly celestial. The energy points provided to the host by ordinary heavenly celestial powerhouses have been greatly reduced. Wang Mang's heart sank. However, he could understand. When he was at Earth Celestial, he had naturally gained a lot of energy points by devouring heavenly celestial powerhouses. However, now that he was at Heavenly Celestial, the energy points for evolution had not skyrocketed by much. Then, the system would definitely make adjustments in other aspects. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was not so depressed anymore. He asked in his heart again, System, how much energy points can I get from devouring a heavenly celestial powerhouse now? Ding. Host, please discover it yourself. Ding. Warm prompt. The system has automatically treated the 4 corpses of heavenly celestial powerhouses as repayment of the debt. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was in a good mood. Previously, he owed the system 4 heavenly celestial treasures of heaven and earth. Using the corpses of 4 heavenly celestial powerhouses to repay the debt was originally Wang Mang's idea. Now that the system had automatically deducted it, Wang Mang naturally did not have any objections. Because the system had already deducted it, it was useless even if he had any objections. Half an hour later, Wang Mang once again came to the vicinity of the Fu province dock. Wang Mang, who had transformed into his human form, was waiting for the return of the arcane realm powerhouses. At the same time, he was also observing the surrounding environment. He found that there were many more active humans living in this city that was like a ruin. It was not as lifeless as before. He waited for 3 days. On the 3rd day, Wang Mang suddenly felt that the space in the sky was slightly distorted. Then, many powerhouses appeared on the dock one after another like dumplings in a pot. Among them were Demon Clan powerhouses, Demon Fetus Clan powerhouses, and of course, Underworld powerhouses. However, these guys were no longer considered powerhouses in Wang Mang's eyes. At the same time, Wang Mang's gaze also landed on Yution. Beside him was Yushan, whose strength was still at the peak of the heavenly celestial realm. This also made Wang Mang secretly relieved. It was good that this guy did not break through to the heavenly celestial realm. The next moment, seeing that these powerhouses were preparing to leave, Wang Mang was the first to soar into the sky. Looking down at the 20 to 30 experts present, he said in high spirits, "This is robbery. No one is allowed to leave." Chapter 474. The powerhouses who were about to leave were stunned. Then they looked up at Wang Mang, who was in high spirits with his arms crossed. Of course, they were familiar with Wang Mang. He was the one who won the first place. None of them knew what Wang Mang had wished for the king god. At the same time, they were also curious about what Wang Mang's wish was. Unfortunately, they didn't see Wang Mang in the Mystery Land, especially after he won the first place. Wang Mang disappeared for 3 months. Later, the rest of the powerhouses in the Pillar of Heaven's mountains were thrown out by the king god when they reached their limit in the Mystery Land. They didn't want to leave the Mystery Land because there were too many resources there. There were too many treasures of heaven and earth. It could be said that those who didn't die in the Mystery Land had their strength improved a lot. For example, the weakest of the powerhouses present had reached the middle stage of the Earth Celestial Realm. Even a number of late-stage Earth Celestial Realm powerhouses had skyrocketed. There were also many Earth Celestial Realm powerhouses. It could be seen that all the powerhouses who entered the Mystery Land had gained something. Of course, the one who gained the most was Wang Mang. There was no other reason. When they felt the terrifying aura of Wang Mang, a heaven celestial realm powerhouse. All the powerhouses were shocked. When Wang Mang was in the pillar of heaven's mountains, he was only at the middle stage of the earth celestial realm. But now, he had reached the peak of the heaven celestial realm. However, more than that, he secretly heaved a sigh of relief, because Wang Mang hadn't reached the level that made them despair. At the same time, there were many self-righteous powerhouses who were disdainful and looked at Wang Mang with ridicule. In their opinion, if they were in Su Kei's shoes, they would make a wish to become a Stage 5 powerhouse. Even if they knew there were huge drawbacks, they might still choose to do so, because they would never have the chance to become a Stage 5 powerhouse. At this moment, a sneer was heard. "Who do you think you are? Do you think you're worthy of robbing us?" The one who spoke was a peak-level, earthly, immortal expert of the sea race. His harvest in the secret realm was so great that it made his ego inflate. From an early stage Earth Immortal to a peak stage Earth Immortal, one could imagine how much his strength had increased. Hearing that, the other experts did not speak. Instead, they quieted down and looked at Wang Mang and the provocative expert from the Sea Tribe. But in the next moment, a scene that shocked everyone happened. Wang Mang looked down at the arrogant young Sea Tribe expert, and a black light shot out from his cold eyes. The black light that shot out was as fast as lightning and instantly struck the young Sea Tribe expert. In the next moment, the young Oceanic Clan expert didn't even have time to react before his body exploded with a bang. This was Wang Mang's new ability, Death's Eye. It was even more terrifying than the Eye of Sin. It could inadvertently release a powerful ability, and it was very powerful. Even if it was an expert at the same cultivation level as Wang Mang, the slightest bit of carelessness would cause them to fall under this divine ability of his. This ability was much more powerful than falling stars. At the same time, with Wang Mang's gaze, a peak stage Earth Immortal expert was killed. The group of experts who were still mocking Yi Futian quieted down one after another. Even a peak stage Heaven Immortal expert was not someone they could provoke. The only ones they could provoke were those who had reached the Heaven Immortal realm. The problem was that there were merely 4 Heavenly Immortal Realm experts present. They were Mo1, Ao Changkong, and the peak stage Heaven Immortal expert. In 3 months, he had risen from the middle stage Heaven Immortal to the peak stage Heaven Immortal. This was indeed worthy of the name he was proud of, Ao Changkong. He had the capital to do so. Other than that, there was the Cosmic God. This guy was at the peak of the Heaven Immortal realm. What was puzzling was that he still had not stepped into the Stage 4 realm. As for why, no one knew. But was the Cosmic God not talented enough? This was obviously impossible. He had reached the peak of the Heaven Immortal realm without entering the secret realm. If he was not talented enough, who would be? Other than the Cosmic God and Ao Changkong, there were 2 other guys. These 2 guys were the 4th and 5th. They were the Oxhead God from the underworld. There was also a Devil Fetus expert named Void Quake. It was worth mentioning. The Oxhead God was always following the Lord of the 18 layers of hell. Even if his strength was stronger than the Lord of the 18 layers of hell, he was still very respectful to the Lord of the 18 layers of hell. In addition, the 5th Devil Fetus expert was named Nangong Jun, and this Nangong Jun was very smart. He chose to be closer to Ao Changkong, because both sides were from another world. Facing these tyrannical experts of the Earth's native forces, they naturally got along better. As for the 2nd place, the Dog Bear Emperor did not appear here. It was unknown if he was prepared or if he knew Wang Mang too well. Similarly, Wang Mang's target was also the 4 of them. It was just that the strength of these 4 guys was not weak. Therefore, after thinking for a while, Wang Mang indifferently waved his hand and said, "Except for you, Tian, those who have not reached the Heaven Immortal realm can get lost." Hearing this, many of the experts present breathed a sigh of relief, and then all left. For a while, there were only a few experts left on the huge dock. "Tell me, I want to know, what treasure did you get? Or what reward did you get?" Wang Mang looked at Yu Tian and did not care about the cosmic god who was looking at him indifferently. Wang Mang was not afraid of anyone in the same realm. This was the confidence that Wang Mang had always had. But the next moment, to Wang Mang's surprise, in the face of his inquiry, Yu Tian's face was calm, and he simply nodded and said, "Only the top 5 will receive the prizes from the chief god. Except for your wish. There were only 4 prizes for us to choose, and we chose according to the order of ranking. I was 3rd, and there were only 3 things left for me to choose. These 3 things. The first one is a stage 5 resurrection stone. The second one is a stage 5 powerhouse aptitude card. The third one is a boundary tablet. I've chosen a type 5 resurrection stone. Its effect is that in this universe, it can kill any existence whose strength has not reached stage 5. Chapter 475. At this point, Yu Tian looked at Wang Mang with a smile and said softly, "Don't waste your time. You don't have to waste your time. I've already used this resurrection stone." Hearing this, Wang Mang's face sank. He felt his heart bleeding. At this moment, Nan Gongjin shrugged and looked at Wang Mang helplessly. "I chose the rank 5 powerhouse aptitude card. I've already used it. Even if you kill me, I won't be able to take it out. F***CK. He used it again?" Wang Mang felt his heart break. Then he subconsciously looked at the ox-head god of the underworld. The ox-head god was expressionless. Instead, it was the lord of the 18 levels of hell beside him who slowly said, "It's useless to give you the sealed boundary tablet. It's used to seal the world. It doesn't help increase your strength at all. For example, if a rank 5 powerhouse wants to destroy Earth, he can use this sealed boundary tablet to seal the world below rank 5. Then the rank 5 powerhouse won't be able to enter Earth. Once the powerhouses on Earth reach rank 5, they will be pushed out of Earth. The sealed boundary tablet will protect this world until the sealed boundary tablet is broken by a super powerhouse. Otherwise, the rank 5 powerhouse will never be able to enter Earth. If you want to snatch it, I'll use the sealed boundary tablet to seal Earth below rank 2. At that time, those whose strength exceeds rank 2 can all be kicked out of Earth." After listening to the 3 of them, Wang Mang's heart was completely broken. He never thought that these guys would have such a great harvest. Were these 3 things trash? They weren't trash. On the contrary, they were very heaven-defying. But the problem was that they used all of them. Even if the sealed boundary tablet was useless, Wang Mang couldn't snatch it. Once he snatched it, if the other party really used the sealed boundary tablet, at that time, those whose strength reached rank 2 could all be kicked out of Earth, including Wang Mang and all the powerhouses on Earth. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but have a headache. Was this mission going to end in failure? Was it going to work for nothing again? Just as Wang Mang was feeling a little disappointed, he suddenly remembered that he was still missing one person. This man was the Dog Bear Emperor. This dog was in 2nd place. The things he obtained were definitely better than the 3 of them, because the items that these 3 fellows obtained were the leftovers of the Dog Bear Emperor. Thinking of this, Wang Mang quickly asked, "Where's the Dog Bear Emperor? He was in 2nd place, right? What did he get?" Hearing this, all the powerhouses present looked at each other and shook their heads. "I also want to know." Yu Tian shook his head with a calm expression. In fact, it wasn't just Yu Tian. All the experts present wanted to know. Because Dog Bear Emperor came in 2nd place, other than Wang Mang, he got the best item. "What did you get? Can you tell us about it?" At this moment, Universe God suddenly spoke. After saying that, Universe God and the other powerhouses present stared straight at Wang Mang. Seeing the gazes of Universe God, Nangong Jun, and the other experts, Wang Mang said coldly, "Below stage 5 immortal." After hearing Wang Mang's words, all the experts present looked at Wang Mang in shock. They never thought that Wang Mang would make such a wish. At the same time, they were very puzzled why Wang Mang didn't choose to directly increase his strength to stage 5. Of course, they didn't know the characteristics of stage 5 powerhouses, so it wasn't surprising that they had such thoughts. They didn't doubt the authenticity of Wang Mang's words. In their opinion, Wang Mang would only be so arrogant if he made such a wish. Otherwise, how could Wang Mang be so arrogant with the strength of a peak celestial immortal? After seeing the shock in the experts' hearts, Wang Mang felt much better. Then, Wang Mang felt a little helpless. Was this mission going to end without any results? As for scheming for the Dog-Bear Emperor's treasure, in Wang Mang's opinion, it was a little difficult. Either this guy used the treasure after getting it, or this guy had already gone into hiding long ago. In short, the Dog-Bear Emperor was getting more and more cunning. According to Wang Mang's understanding of the Dog-Bear Emperor, the Dog-Bear Emperor should have left the secret realm long ago. Thinking of this, Wang Mang waved his hand and said impatiently, "Enough! Get out of here!" After hearing Wang Mang's words, the experts present all had a cold look on their faces. After pondering for a moment, they left. If it wasn't for Wang Mang's success, they wouldn't have allowed Wang Mang to be so arrogant. But now, Wang Mang was like the sun in the sky, and his strength was very tyrannical. They didn't want to offend Wang Mang. If Wang Mang's strength hadn't increased, Wang Mang would have dared to be so arrogant, and they would have already taken action. After these guys left, looking at the direction where the Lord of the 18 levels of hell and the Oxhead God left, Wang Mang's eyes flickered. He wanted to snatch the sealed boundary divine steel from this guy, but in the end, he didn't do it. Wang Mang was also afraid that the other party would do something desperate. The Lord of the 18 levels of hell had reached the early stage of the fairy immortal. Also, he wasn't sure if the sealed boundary divine steel was with the Oxhead God or the Lord of the 18 levels of hell. He was also worried that once he took action, he wouldn't be able to kill them immediately, and instead, they would succeed in using the sealed boundary divine steel. Sigh. Wang Mang sighed inexplicably. In the end, he could only silently say in his heart, "System, use the one-time mission free whore card." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully used the one-time mission free whore card." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully completed the mission." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Obtained 4,500 energy value." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Obtained Immortal Level Blind Box X1. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang wasn't happy at all, because he relied on the free whore card to complete the mission. As for why he used the free whore card, naturally, it was because Wang Mang had discovered a pattern. That was, after his strength had skyrocketed, it was very difficult to find missions that rewarded too much energy value. Moreover, he hadn't obtained an immortal level blind box yet. Therefore, Wang Mang didn't want to miss it. He would use the one-time mission free whore card to exchange for an immortal level blind box. "I didn't expect that when my strength reached the peak of the fairy immortal level, my first mission would end in failure." Wang Mang sighed helplessly and prepared to leave. Suddenly, a few figures flew out from the sky. When Wang Mang looked up, he saw that it was Xiao Tianquan and a few of his subordinates. Similarly, Xiao Tianquan, Lord Hushan, and the other two also saw Wang Mang and hurriedly stepped forward and respectfully said, "Greetings, master." Wang Mang sized up the four subordinates and nodded in satisfaction. The four of them were not weak and had improved a lot, especially Lord Hushan, who had reached the middle stage of the fairy immortal level. This proved that they had gained a lot of benefits in the secret realm. As for Xiao Tianquan, White Fox, and Flying Rat, their strength had also improved slightly. "Your strength has improved quite well." Wang Mang gave a rare compliment. After that, Wang Mang brought them back to his own territory. Just then, another voice sounded in the sky. "Hey!" After looking sideways, Wang Mang saw a wretched and ugly young man fall from the sky with a plop. Moreover, this guy didn't stand firmly and fell directly to the ground. He quickly got up in a sorry state. This guy was none other than the Dog Emperor. The Dog Emperor obviously saw Wang Mang and immediately smiled. "Brother Wang Mang, did you see the Dog-Bear Emperor?" Wang Mang's heart skipped a beat. He smiled and asked, "Dog Emperor, did you see the Dog-Bear Emperor? By the way, brother, do you know what kind of treasure the Dog-Bear Emperor had obtained?" Hearing this, The dog emperor nodded and said enviously, "Of course I know. This dog obtained a top-level world card. I don't know where it is now. Other than your wish, the prize he obtained is the best. He can enter a top-level world with unlimited possibilities." Chapter 476. What? Dog Bear Emperor obtained a top-level world card? Wang Mang's face was full of shock. He never expected that Dog Bear Emperor would obtain a top-level world card. Wang Mang knew very well how rare a top-level world card was, because when he drew the lottery, such a prize had appeared before, but he had never won it. In fact, the number of times such a prize appeared was very rare. But this dog actually obtained a top-level world card. This caused Wang Mang to lose his composure, because a top-level world card had too many resources. It was unimaginable. For example, in the secret realm, a sea of resources, a sea of powerhouses, and endless opportunities. Everyone's strength would increase after a period of time. For a moment, Wang Mang's breathing became a little rapid. He looked at Dog Emperor and said anxiously, "Are you sure? Are you sure that Dog Bear Emperor obtained a top-level world card?" Bear Emperor's eyes were red with jealousy. "I'm sure. This dog told me personally. I kept pestering him, and he told me because he was annoyed. This bastard, damn it. I asked him to bring me along, but he was unwilling." At this point, Dog Emperor looked at Wang Mang expectantly and asked, "Brother Wang Mang, if you find him, you must bring me along. I've been King good to you. Back then at Tianju Mountain, I also helped you. We're good brothers. You can't abandon me and forget about righteousness for the sake of profit." Obviously, Dog Emperor was afraid that Wang Mang would kick him away, because he also knew what a top-level world card meant. This meant that it had unlimited potential and endless possibilities in the future. Wang Mang was silent for a while, but finally nodded and said, "Okay, the premise is that we can find this guy. When the time comes, let's look for him together." Wang Mang agreed to the Dog Emperor's request because the Dog Emperor helped him at Tianju Mountain. He definitely had the Dog Emperor's help to get first place. Without the Dog Emperor's help, he might not even be able to get into the top 5. The Dog Emperor nodded happily and said, "It's settled then. Let's look for him together. Brother, don't leave me behind." Hearing that, Wang Mang also nodded slightly. The Dog Emperor left happily. Before he left, he did not forget to say, "Once I find it, I'll update you from time to time, or I'll go to your province to look for you. Brother, please don't forget about me." Looking in the direction of the Dog Emperor world card, Wang Mang did not know whether to laugh or cry. The Dog Emperor was very far-sighted, and the Bear Emperor was even more far-sighted. After all, the Resurrection Stone was a life. In the end, the Bear Emperor did not take it and chose a top-level world card. From this, it could be seen that the Bear Emperor world card was very far-sighted. At the same time, Wang Mang also regretted his decision. He regretted making a wish to increase his strength to the peak of the sky immortal realm. If he had the chance to make a wish again, he would not be so short-sighted as to increase his strength. Wang Mang did not think too much about it. He decided to bring his subordinates back to Guizhou province. This was because after his strength had skyrocketed, these 4 subordinates were no longer of much help to him. Therefore, Wang Mang decided to arrange for them to go to Guizhou province to protect his father's safety. In addition, his strength was at the peak of the sky immortal realm. He had no enemies on Earth. Therefore, the current Wang Mang was truly running amok. He had become arrogant and was getting a little carried away. The current him did not have to be subservient to the strong anymore, because he was now close to the peak of Earth. Apart from the demon Lord Chong Lu, he was undoubtedly the strongest. Half an hour later, Wang Mang brought his subordinates to Guizhou province. However, what shocked Wang Mang was that the entire Guizhou province had been cleared out, compared to the other cities that were still struggling with zombies and humans in ruins. Guizhou province had already regained its order. It looked brand new compared to before. At a glance, the streets of the city that was once in ruins had been cleared out. There were often small teams searching for resources. They spread out and were active in every corner of the city. The smell of blood that filled the air was not as strong as before. Everything was developing in a good direction. This made Wang Mang feel very gratified. His father was able to rule the entire Guizhou province so quickly. It proved that his methods were very powerful. Soon, Wang Mang arrived at his father's military base. What surprised Wang Mang was that his father's huge number of subordinates had increased again. In the past, there were only 5,000 of them. Now, at a glance, there were at least 20,000 of them. Moreover, it seemed that they were trained very well. Such a team would definitely be considered a huge force after the cataclysm. Of course, this was only for ordinary people. After entering his father's military base, Wang Mang saw his father watching TV. Yes, the TV satellite had been restored. It had to be said that humans' reaction speed was very fast. Father. After Wang Mang transformed into his human form, he sat beside his father and greeted him. Wang Fu was shocked. He turned to look at Wang Mang and said angrily, "You little brat, are you trying to scare me to death?" Wang Mang smiled brightly and said, "Father, is there anything going on here recently?" Wang Fu shook his head and said worriedly, "What can happen? The only thing is that the rat disaster is too terrifying. Now, a type of rat with extremely strong vitality has appeared. After being baptized by the blood rain, they became extremely terrifying after becoming demonic beasts. They're even more terrifying than locusts. Wherever they go, not a single blade of grass will grow. They are not afraid of ordinary attacks and have tenacious vitality." Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately smiled and said, "It's fine. I brought you 4 top-notch helpers. Their strength has reached the heavenly immortal realm. They're the top powerhouses in the world. With them protecting you, Father, I'm much more relieved." Wang Fu was shocked. Heavenly immortal realm? That's already the 3rd stage, right? Hearing his father's question, Wang Mang was a little surprised. It seemed that his father had figured out the general threshold of cultivation after so long. Under Wang Fu's puzzled gaze, Wang Mang nodded slightly and said, "Yes, Father. The last stage of the 3rd stage is the heavenly immortal realm." After hearing Wang Mang's words, Wang Fu rejected without hesitation. "You should bring such powerhouses with you. Only then can they protect you. I, your old man, will stay in your province obediently. The Stone Emperor and the others are enough." Wang Mang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Father, don't worry. Your son is already at the peak of the heavenly immortal realm. Their strength is even lower than mine. How can they protect me? They're no longer of much use to me. They can't keep up with my footsteps anymore. That's why I asked them to stay and protect you." Wang Fu hesitated for a while before slowly nodding. "All right." Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction and was about to speak. The system's voice suddenly sounded. Ding. Detected the host's current situation. The host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission 1. Ignore the Dogbear Emperor that has already appeared on Earth. Mission time. Available upon selection. Mission reward. 500 energy points. Mission 2. Face the Dogbear Emperor that has already appeared on Earth. Go and befriend him to obtain the opportunity to enter a top-notch world. Mission time. Available upon completion. Mission reward. 1,000 energy points. Supreme Grade Blind Box, X1. Mission 3. Face the Dogbear Emperor that has already appeared on Earth. Take advantage of the situation. Snatch the other party's top-notch world card. Mission time. Available upon completion. Mission reward. 5,000 energy points. Immortal Grade Blind Box, X1. Chapter 477. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was suddenly stunned. He got 2 pieces of information from the mission information. First, the Dogbear Emperor really got a top-level world card. Second, the other party had returned to the world of Earth. Similarly, the choice of 3 missions. It was obviously impossible to ignore the first mission, because Wang Mang knew what a top-level world meant. This top-level world meant unlimited possibilities in the future. Therefore, The first mission could be ruled out without any surprise. If it was the second mission, he could consider it. After all, he and the Dog Bear Emperor were brothers. If it was the third mission, there would be a lot of rewards. The problem was that he was afraid of accidents. What if he wanted to snatch the Dog Bear Emperor's top-level world card, and the other party directly used the top-level world card and ran to the top-level world? If that was the case, Wang Mang would lose everything. So after pondering for a while, Wang Mang decided to rule out the third mission. After all, he was not that kind of person. He, Wang Mang, would not snatch his brother's things. Their relationship could not be measured by a top-level world card. Thinking of this, Wang Mang had already made a decision in his heart. He said in his heart, "System, I choose the second mission." The next moment, the system's voice also sounded, "Ding. Congratulations to the host. You have successfully chosen the mission. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to get the reward." After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was completely relieved. Then, Wang Mang could not help but begin to think again. Where would the Dog Bear Emperor go? Would he return to your province? Although the Dog Bear Emperor's former territory was in your province. But since he took over your province, the Dog Bear Emperor also left. Wang Mang did not know the exact whereabouts of the Dog Bear Emperor, so he had no clue for the time being. But after thinking about it, Wang Mang decided to go to the former Dog Bear Emperor's territory later to take a look. At this moment, Wang Fu looked at Wang Mang, who was deep in thought, and couldn't help but ask, "What's wrong?" Wang Mang came back to his senses and waved his hand with a smile. "Dad is fine. By the way, how are Mom and Grandma?" "It's okay. The older you live, the younger you get." "Huh." Speaking of his family, Wang Fu couldn't stop laughing. Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction. Then, a palm-sized token appeared in his hand. "This is..." Looking at the sign in Wang Mang's hand, Wang Fu couldn't help but feel puzzled. Wang Mang immediately smiled and explained, "Dad, this is the local god's identity token. With this token, Father, you don't need to undergo tribulation in the future, and you can become a land immortal. Furthermore, he is an immortal recognized by the heavens and earth." After hearing Wang Mang's words, Wang Fu was stunned. I can become an immortal with this token?" Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately smiled and said, "Of course, Dad. I also have 5 local god tokens here. You can have all 5 of them. Dad, Mom, and Grandma can use 3 of them. As for the remaining 3, you can give them to your most loyal subordinates." Just as he finished speaking, 5 local god tokens appeared in Wang Mang's hand again. A total of 6 immortal tokens appeared in Wang Mang's hand. One of the local god tokens flew directly into Wang Fu's body. As for why Wang Mang had so many local god tokens, this was because Wang Mang's 5 Great Mountain God token came with 5 local god tokens. "Son, what are you going to do?" After receiving the 5 immortal tokens, Wang Fu looked at his son with some hesitation. Wang Mang explained helplessly, "Dad, I am now in the celestial stage. Let me explain to you. The 3 stages are human immortal, earth immortal, and celestial immortal. Your son is now a real immortal." After listening to his son's explanation, Wang Fu nodded and accepted the 5 immortal tokens. After that, Wang Mang handed over the treasures that were useless to Wang Mang in the past to his father. After settling everything, Wang Mang left the military base where his father was. Wang Mang left his 4 subordinates, including the howling celestial dog, to his father. After that, Wang Mang rushed to the former Dog Bear Emperor's territory. Of course, he did not have much hope. However, when Wang Mang arrived at the former Dog Bear Emperor's territory, he immediately felt that something was wrong. He sensed the familiar aura of the Dog Bear Emperor. In addition, Wang Mang also sensed the aura of the Dog Emperor. After that, Wang Mang quickly rushed in the direction of the Dog Bear Emperor's lair. After arriving at the Dog Bear Emperor's lair, Wang Mang saw the Dog Bear Emperor and the Dog Emperor from afar. The 2 of them were arguing about something, but he could vaguely hear the Dog Bear Emperor's cursing. "Get the F***CK out of my way. Are you calling me brother now? When I asked you to give me the Fox Emperor, You F** king said that you would fight to the death with me. The dog emperor cried bitterly. The fox emperor didn't take a fancy to me after that. For you, I gave up the fox emperor. Seeing this, Wang Mang was speechless. In the next moment, Wang Mang transformed into his human form and descended from the sky. The dog emperor and the dog bear emperor, who were still arguing, immediately looked at Wang Mang. When the dog emperor saw Wang Mang, he said happily, "Brother Wang Mang, you're here." Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded slightly, then looked at the dog bear emperor with a smile on his face. At this moment, the dog bear emperor looked at Wang Mang warily and said coldly, "What are you doing here?" Looking at the dog bear emperor's attitude, Wang Mang was more or less unhappy. However, the dog bear emperor's strength was not weak either. In just a few months, its strength had reached the peak of the Earth Immortal stage. It had to be said that other than obtaining the Ultimate World card, the Dog Emperor had also gained a lot in the Secret Realm. Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly smiled and said, "Brother Black Bear, I'm just thinking of coming to see you, brother. Don't be nervous." Black Bear laughed coldly and said, "You're here to see me? Now you're calling me brother? Let me tell you, I've already guessed why you're here. Don't you dare have any ideas about me. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude to you." Obviously, the Dog Bear Emperor did not trust Wang Mang at all. He did not trust Wang Mang at all. How could he not know Wang Mang's personality? Even the Black Bear Emperor regretted it. He should not have let the Dog Emperor know. If the Dog Emperor didn't know about this, he could have made a fortune in secret. Now, the Dog Emperor even told Wang Mang, and the two of them came looking for him. Moreover, the Dog Emperor and Wang Mang really guessed that he was hiding in his old nest. F***CK. Didn't they say that the most dangerous place was the safest place? Just as the Dog Bear Emperor was extremely depressed, Wang Mang could not help but say angrily, "You Dog Bear Emperor, when you need me, you call me brother. Now that you've made a fortune, you don't want to call me brother anymore, right? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.